Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. Their 15th ranked Sooners take the field as they'll get set to do battle with the Washington Huskies of the Pac-10. And welcome everybody to Norman, Oklahoma. I'm Brad Nessler with Bob Greasy and Paul McGuire. Both these teams are 1-0. For Oklahoma, though, they struggled a little bit last week, and they dropped 5 spots in the national polls. Of all the teams that won last week, they took the biggest dip. And, fellas, I think it goes back probably to the preseason. They had a different quarterback at that time. The expectations were high. They still are high. But Paul Thompson, the fifth-year senior, back in at the quarterback spot. And a lot of people say, well, he looked kind of shaky. I think the coaches disagree. I think they liked him.
Make no mistake about it. This is Paul Thompson's team, and they are solidified with Paul Thompson. He is a popular choice with the players and the most respected player in the 8 years that Stoops has been here. Now, what does he have to do? Well, when you got a top 10 defense and you've got a top 5 running game, you don't have to do a lot. Just don't mess it up. So what he has to do is don't turn it over, manage the thing, and just get the ball to that Heisman running back that he's got in the backfield.
That's right. He's got number 28. That always helps the cause if you're a quarterback and you got a good offensive line, and they do. The question for Washington's defense, Paul, is how do you stop number 28?
I don't know. I don't think they do either. But I'll tell you what I will do. You don't try to stop him. You try to slow him down. And if I'm Washington, I either go to an 8-man front or a 9-man front. Anybody on that side where he is, if he touches the ball, have at least 2 people put him on the ground. If they fake the ball to him, at least one guy hit him and put him on the ground. If he goes out into a pattern and they don't throw the ball to him, put him on the ground. My idea is if he touches the ball 30 times, knock him down 35 times.
Just to make sure.
I hope so.
For Oklahoma's defense, they've got a guy to worry about, too, and we're looking forward to watching this guy in his second year as a starter. Isaiah Stanback. He's a 10 400-meter man, and he can really throw the football. Oklahoma coming up against Washington in a minute. This ESPN production's available on ABC HD, presented by Dish Network. Bob Stoops, Oklahoma Sooners, Ty Willingham's Washington Huskies set to do battle. We go down to 4th member of our team, Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie.
Brad, tackling. That is Oklahoma's mantra today, because last Saturday, Alabama-Birmingham put up a bunch of 20-yard plays in one monster 15-play drive. And trust me, the Sooners coaches were not happy. Coordinator Brent Venables saying it's unacceptable that we were whiffing and throwing forearms and elbows at guys, but not wrapping them up. So we got a lot more physical in practice. Bob Stoops thinks this defense can rival last year's unit that was among the best in the nation. He just thinks his tacklers need to get themselves in better position to do their damage, and that's especially so, Brad, against a quarterback like Isaiah Stanback. You talked about it. This guy can do some serious damage with his feet.
He had over 100 yards rushing a week ago. Ty Willingham 3-9 in his second season as a head man at Washington after a 2-9 campaign last year. They beat San Jose State in their opener. UAB, only a 7-point victim of Oklahoma. Bob Stoops has a national championship to his credit. Washington won the toss and deferred, so Oklahoma's got Joaquin Iglesias and Reggie Smith back deep. And here comes Michael Bronstein, and we're underway in Norman. And it's a deep kick, and it will not be returned as Oklahoma will take a knee and start at the 20-yard line. So Oklahoma comes out with a guy that Bob talked about, Paul Thompson. Only his 3rd career start, but without question one of the leaders of this football team.
Actually, he has made 6 starts in his career, 3 of them at wide receiver and 3 of them now at quarterback.
So they'll work at their own 20-yard line. That's where the Sooners will start shop. And they've got 5 wide receivers immediately for Paul Thompson. Adrian Peterson is split out as a wideout, empty backfield. Thompson, the quick throw, got it out complete, about a 4-yard gain to Fred Strong. Oklahoma offensively, the guy that they would love to get it to as far as a big play receiver is just a young guy, but they love him in Malcolm Kelly. And the offensive line up front is young too, but they're a good group. Almost a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, 8 of the 10 offensive linemen, the top 10, are in their 1st or 2nd year. So a lot of youth, but a lot of that offensive line.
Now Adrian Peterson in the backfield on 2nd down and 6. And might have been some movement on the front. Duke Robinson, the left guard, looked like he may have pulled out of his stance. And that'll back Oklahoma up to a 2nd down and 11.
False start. Offense, number 72.
You're
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Robinson is, a couple of those guys, Robinson included, are only 19 years old.
There's Duke.
There he's moving.
When you get 330 going like that, you're going to stumble sometimes.
You can't pull it back very quickly.
So it brings up second down and 11. Peterson has yet to touch it, and now more movement, and it might be another 5 yards against Oklahoma, and it's Chris Messner, and he's the guy that's got the most experience. He's one of their captains, the left tackle.
False start. Number 79 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So Greg Burke's a busy referee already. Bob Stoops doesn't like mental mistakes, and penalties will kill you, and he knows that.
Well, and especially when you have a young offense. Like I said, he got all that youth on that offensive line. Of course, Messner is one of 2 seniors on that starting offense.
2nd and 16. Here's the toss to Adrian Peterson, his first carry. Met at the 15, goes out to about the 16-yard line. Put down by the Washington defense there by Matt Fontaine, the cornerback. So Washington defensively, they really like their defensive ends. Tian Eschheim is a guy that's motor never slows down. Gunheim's the other defensive end, and you see the linebackers in the secondary. Roy Lewis, a really good one on one corner.
And C.J. Wallace, the strong safety, may be the best one of that whole unit.
3rd down and 13, not what Oklahoma was looking for on their opening drive. 3 wideouts for Thompson, who's in the shotgun. Fires in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Intended for Iglesias, and a nice job defensively to break it up there by Deshaun Goldson.
You know, Bob, it's amazing about this defense. They're looking right now as if they're playing Peterson, who is the Heisman candidate. They're just playing one-on-one with him, and they're going to allow him to get out into pass patterns and do whatever he wants to do. But when it comes to the line of scrimmage, they will tighten up.
Marlon Wood back in punt return formation, as Oklahoma had one offensive play that went for positive yardage, and then they went backwards with a penalty. And the Huskies should get great field position out of Michael Cohen's punt. He's inside his own 5. And Marlon Wood backpedals to the 38, got by the first guy. And great field position for the Huskies. They have it at the 46-yard line. So Isaiah Stanback, making his 13th career start, talked with us about what he wants to accomplish on the opening drive for the Huskies.
We need to be consistent. We need to be able to move the ball. We can't have any mental mistakes. You know, we can't be worried about the crowd or, you know, any other part of the atmosphere going on. We just have to be able to go out and play and execute.
A guy that we have watched grow up. We had him in the Notre Dame game a year ago. He was much more shy. He wasn't comfortable being a leader. You know, he was used to just be one of the guys. Now he's the guy.
Oh yeah, yesterday it was fun to see him come out of his shell. He was a nice young man.
Here's Kenny James straight up the middle in a big opening. He's still on his feet, and he might take it. James inside the 30. Washington on the first snap has got a touchdown. 54 yards on the opening play of the ball game.
Well, we talked about the shoddy tackling of Oklahoma and the first defensive play. The running back breaks a couple tackles and takes it in.
Kenny James, and I don't know if that was Clayton, number 22, the safety that came up, but right in the middle of the field, you're going to see the hole by the offensive line. This is outstanding blocking. Now look at the hole here. Once he gets through this hole, there's really no one to talk to him or tackle him. And that was Clayton, number 22, who misses the tackle.
There was hardly anybody to talk to him either once he got in the secondary.
Either one.
The extra point, kind of a knuckleball, but he tucked it inside the left upright. And a shocked crowd in crimson and cream has watched Kenny James, the senior tailback and starter, take it to the house. 54 yards, Huskies by a touchdown.
ESPN College Football on ABC.
I know as a defensive-minded head coach who made his mark as a defensive coordinator, there is not a happy head coach right there in Bob Stoops. One play, the opposition goes 54 yards for a touchdown, and Bonnie talked about the poor tackling, and the coaches stressed it all week, and when we see the replay of the touchdown, you're going to see some more bad tackling. But right now, Washington, who has only won one road game in the last 2 years, is off to a tremendous start in the opening minute on the road in hostile territory. 115 yards after missed tackles last week, and about Oh, I'd say about 48 yards after missed tackle on that opening.
Oh, he's steaming too. There's smoke coming out of his ears. We just can't see it.
That's right. There's smoke coming out of the cannon, and there's smoke coming out of Bob Stoops' ears. We just can't see it. Let's take a look at the touchdown, Grease.
First of all, the fullback's going to get a nice block. Watch the fullback, but then we're going to set it up where the back is going to be one-on-one on the safety right here. Look at this. Now, the safety has got to come up and make this play. This is where you call tackling. That's a redshirt freshman. He's playing this year for the first time. I'll tell you what, and Stoops knows this, and he tells the players this, if you're playing defense and you can't tackle, you can't play for me.
Second time the Sooners will start from their own 20-yard line. Straight handoff, nope, play action. Thompson hit as he throws, and that one just looked like a mallard on opening day, fluttering out to the 45-yard line. Took a big hit from Daniel Tionesheim, and we talked about him. Those defensive ends are good ones.
Brad, I tell you, they ran a fake that time to Peterson, and it didn't slow anybody down. They have the, I mean, you talk about taking a look at the Oklahoma offense and studying it. They just know. I mean, if you're going to fake the ball to Adrian Peterson, make sure you make a good fake at him because you've got to hold the defensive lineman.
Now they got Brody Eldridge in. Their fullback, Matt Clapp, is out with an injury, so we'll see a lot of tight ends playing fullback today. Peterson into the secondary. He's got a first down. And all of a sudden the crowd's got something to be relieved about. First down, Sooners out at the 31-yard line. Let's get an update. Matt Wider in New York. Matt.
Get a Taco Bell update just over at NC State. Score an upset win for the Akron Zips. They go 67 yards in the final 57 seconds. Dennis Kennedy polishes it off with his third touchdown of the day. Akron 20, Wolfpack 17.
Wow. So North Carolina State both off to rocky starts. First and 10 here. Play action. Thompson on a bootleg throws. A nice strike. Completes it to Kelly. And he's got another. Oklahoma first down. Let's take a look at our IBM Star Watch. The tight ends are going to be big today. Both Joe John Finley, who had a great game last week, and Jermaine Gresham. And then Reggie Smith. We'll watch him all day long. He'll play corner. He'll play some on offense as a wide receiver. And he's one of their main return men. Pickup of 11, and then another pickup of 11 out at the 42-yard line. Now inside running, and it's tough sledding in there, but maybe a yard or two for Adrian Peterson. And that's about all. It'll be second down and long. Let's talk about the basics and the magic, fellas.
Well, for Oklahoma on offense, Thompson has just got to manage the game. Don't turn it over. Just play to your strengths. And defensively for him, get them on the ground. That means defense, get them on the ground, tackle the runner.
And for Washington, when you're on offense, they already broke a run for, what, 54 yards?
Yeah.
But I still believe that your rushing yards, I mean, the passing yards must be greater than the rushing yards. And you just cannot let Oklahoma beat you deep.
Second down and 9. Finley in motion. Play action again. Thompson's got all day. Going deep. Man out there overshot everybody. Intended for Joaquin Iglesias. And Matt Fontaine was back there, and he had some help.
Well, you run a play action pass, and all you really have, Oklahoma, all they have are two guys that are deep. And they had 4 defenders down there. And there was really no one to throw the ball to, except throw the ball away.
Well, that's what he did. And it sends a message, hey, to the defensive backs, at least we're stretching the field. We're throwing the ball deep. It may set up some intermediate passing by Thompson a little bit later on in the ballgame.
They put Adrian Peterson in the slot to Paul Thompson's left. He's looking that way, trying to throw a slip screen. Nice catch, shoestring catch, but an even better tackle, actually. As Washington closed the gap on him and brought him down, E.J. Savannah made a nice stop. And that'll bring up fourth down.
They try to slip Iglesias underneath, and I'll tell you what, this Washington defense, they are really doing the job. They're staying right by the line of scrimmage, and it really, Bob, does not look like they're taking any of the fakes.
What's wrong with this picture? Oklahoma's playing at home. They're the one that looks like they're on the road with a losing record.
High snap handled by Cohen, and he hit a dandy. Wood is going to try to get out of the way. It bounces up, and it's going to be down at about the 1-yard line.
That's a game changer right there.
It sure is. A 53-yard kick. And Alan Patrick, the backup tailback, got down there and tippy-toed at the 1-yard line. Washington with a lead and in a hole when we come back.
You're watching ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by General Motors. A new level of quality, a new level of confidence. Singular, raising the bar. And Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Well, that's the spot you're looking at of your Kenny James. He's about 7 yards deep behind his quarterback in his own end zone. And the fans trying to make it complicated for the Washington Huskies. And do they get a safety out of this? It's close. No signal. They're going to mark him down to the line of scrimmage. Larry Burdine went down low and just dug in there. And James, you got to give him credit for keeping his wheels moving to get it out to the 1-foot line.
Boy, look at the penetration by the defensive line, and that's all you really need is just to get one guy to penetrate. And once you do that,
that's Burdine, 92.
Boy, I tell you what, is that great, outstanding penetration? All right, you were down here 1,000 times on the goal line. What do you call?
I didn't like it.
Play action. Stand back. Going deep. Nobody out there except Oklahoma's defense, and Darian Williams could have had himself a pick. He laid out for it and couldn't quite hold on. Washington offensively, well, so far they have a touchdown, but they're doing it without their top 2 tight ends. Michael Gottlieb and Robert Lewis both out with injury. So Johnny Curtin, a converted fullback, is the starting tight end. There's the rest of their group up front. And Kenny James is all we've seen so far, but we'll see a lot of Lewis Rankin.
If you've got something that can get the quarterback outside the pocket, that would buy him a little bit more time to throw the ball safely down the field, or else let stand back run for some yardage.
I was just going to say, he hasn't run yet. This might be a safe bet that he would here. Here he comes, and almost tackle in the end zone. Great play by Larry Burdine again. He made 2 sensational stops on that series, both times almost safeties.
Larry Burdine is such a quick defensive lineman and outstanding penetration. It just looked like Stanback had a lot of room to run when he came out of that end zone, but that hole just closed as Burdine, number 92, made it.
Now, Sean Douglas does not have the normal amount of depth because they're so close to the goal line to set up the punt. That's Reggie Smith back at midfield.
He does have some wind behind him, and he is a very good punter.
Line drive, Lewis, and went over his head. Reggie trying to track it down. Right now, this is about a 75-yard punt. Let's see if he does anything on the return. Smith waited for a crease and got it. 40, midfield. Smith down the sideline. Got a block all the way to the 22-yard line. Whoa, what a punt, but an even better return.
You know something, Brad? I punted 100 years ago, and this is a classic example of out-punting your coverage. This ball took off. There was no way for the punt team to get down and cover this punt. And Reggie Smith had a long time to decide where he wanted to go, and then he just picked up blockers. This is absolutely beautiful.
Sean Douglas is going, I just hit an 82-yard punt. The problem is Reggie Smith took it 62 the other way.
Oh.
1st and 10, Oklahoma. Let's see if they try a quick strike here offensively.
It's just great effort by the punter and by Reggie Smith.
Thompson down the middle. Got him inside the 10. It's 1st and goal, Sooners. Joaquin Iglesias. 14-yard pass play.
Iglesias on the inside, number 9, just going to go down right in the middle of the field. I like what Paul Thompson has done. The first 2 series, they didn't go too well. Guys were jumping off sides, didn't get the completions he wanted, but he didn't make a big mistake. Now he got good field position. Now let's do something with this 3rd possession of ours.
1st and goal at the Washington 8-yard line. Finley, the tight end, in motion. Adrian Peterson. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's just about it. Bob Stoops, he liked the way his quarterback looked last week, and he's probably liking it today as well.
his decisions on where he went with the football and all his throws were really good. His checks at the line of scrimmage, run plays were excellent, as well as checking into some certain pass plays. His operation in the huddle at the line of scrimmage, all of that was really good.
Let's see how good he is on 2nd and goal. Finley, the tight end in motion. He's a big receiver, but it's Peterson in the hole on the left side, and they close it on him in a hurry. Theo Neschheim and Scott White, the outside linebacker, and it's going to bring up 3rd and goal.
I'll tell you what, I'm throwing the ball to the big tight end. You got 2 guys that are playing tight end in this game at the same time. One is 6'7", Finley, and one is, he's 6'6", and Grisham is 6'7". You've got to use these big tight ends down here by the goal line.
The problem is they just took him out and they put in all wide receivers. I'm with you, though. I think he should have thrown it to Finley on the last play. 3rd and goal.
Well, he's got single coverage on the outside receivers.
Thompson to the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. And it's Malcolm Kelly. Seven-yard touchdown. We talked about Malcolm Kelly being their leading returning receiver. He's a young guy, but he's a good one, a sophomore.
He's on the outside. He's on Fontaine. He's just going to run a little short post to the back of the end zone. He is huge. He's 6'4" and has no problem going up and making the catch.
22-yard scoring drive, only took 4 plays. So the answer to the long touchdown run by Washington is Reggie Smith and then Malcolm Kelly. And the extra point by Hartley is up and good. Well, we've had some fireworks, fellas. 7-7. Oklahoma. Thompson hooks up with his 6'4" wideout. We're dead even.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein. Memorial Stadium in Oklahoma. Good one going early. 7-7. 5:46 remaining in the first quarter. And now Washington will receive for the first time today. Roy Lewis is the deep man. Garrett Hartley's got it teed up for Oklahoma. Scoring drive of Oklahoma's took only 4 plays in just a little under 2 minutes. And the cannon and the kick are simultaneous, and it's going to go into the end zone, and Washington will work from the 20. We got a flag down way back, and now a scramble for the football. Oklahoma thinking they had touched the ball, and the referee's right there, and he's looking for help on the call. This might be a Sooner touchdown.
Doesn't matter. The Sooners were offside on the kickoff. It's going to come back anyway.
Nobody's seeing the flag back at the 33-yard line. They better look back there. I guess there it is. Paul's right. Tom Willingham saying, come on over, guys. It doesn't matter right now. Roy Lewis went over and I thought he overran the football, and apparently he touched it. And now Bob Stoops is angry, but the penalty marker is 70 yards away from where the conversation is going on. Greg Burks is going to maybe talk to both coaches before he talks to us.
I hope he talks to somebody.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
He's talking to a lot of people right now.
Now there's the side judge talking to Ty Willingham. Bob Stoops will get a discussion too, but here's the call.
Offsides on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty from 30-yard spot. First down.
Somewhere down here on this half of the field.
Right at the 30.
The lower half, right on the 30-yard line.
Oh boy, it's on the top half, Bob. It's the top half.
Oh,
it's the second man in on the top.
The top half. I got my bottoms and my tops messed up.
We can turn that thing over. We got it.
We better not wipe that. So now the Boo Birds are out, obviously. The officials are going to have to re-grasp this game, if you will.
Well, what happened, obviously it wasn't a fumble in there because they're going to bring the ball back and then penalize after the play. So the ball will be put in play
at the
25-yard line.
Right.
So obviously they didn't get the ball in the end zone. they being Oklahoma.
So now Washington's got better field position to work with than the last time. They'll start at the 25-yard line. Lewis Rankin now is in at the tailback spot. We talked about him. He had a big game last week, including a 68-yard touchdown run. And he'll get the call. And Oklahoma's there to meet him. He got about 1.5 yards. Larry Burdine has had a monster game so far from defensive end. Let's go back to the score.
Look how they are spreading. 2 receivers outside, 2 receivers over here. Kelly is his #1 guy. He's just going to run a post into the end zone. Single coverage on the outside, man-to-man. Kelly just goes down, runs a little slant, little deep post into the middle. That's an easy touchdown. You got to be covering that. That's his favorite target.
That's just a pitch and catch there.
Leading receiver on this ball club last year as a true freshman.
2nd down and 8. Trying to keep it, stand back, and he's swallowed up. Zach Latimer made the tackle. Let's check in with Matt and another update.
For the Pontiac game-changing performance of the day comes from Akron quarterback Luke Getz. He drove the Zips 67 yards in the final minute at NC State. Then this 10-yard scramble to the one set up the game winner. To vote for your Pontiac game-changing performance, just log on to ESPN.com and type in Pontiac.
Third down and 11. Stand back. Can't hear and doesn't like the looks of what he's seeing from the Oklahoma defense, and time was winding down on the play clock. He'll call a timeout. 4 minutes exactly remaining in the first quarter, and Washington and Oklahoma deadlocked at 7-7. Don't forget, coming up tonight, Saturday Night Football features a rematch that everybody's been waiting for. #1 Ohio State takes on #2 Texas. Last year, the winner, of course, was Texas, and they rode that momentum all the way to the national title. See what happens tonight. 2 of the best college football programs around get together. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, right here on ABC. We take a look at the ESPNU All-State standings. And the top 2 teams getting together for the first time in a long time, 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's Ohio State. Texas moved up to the #2 spot. USC, Notre Dame fell. Auburn was winning big the last time we saw it today.
Look out for West Virginia.
LSU plays Arizona tonight. That's Mike Stoops' Arizona team against Les Miles, the old Oklahoma State coach. And there's not a lot of love lost between those two. So a 3rd down and 11. Over 82,000 on hand at Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. They were shocked with what they saw at the beginning. One play for Washington, a 54-yard touchdown, but then Reggie Smith with the long punt return helped to even things off. Key play in the ball game, opening snap. Kenny James, there's a missed tackle by Keenan Clayton, and Kenny James said goodbye, Sooners, 54 yards later. And so in the opening couple of minutes, it was 7-0, and the road team was shocking Oklahoma. They've got the ball back now at the 24-yard line with a 3rd down and 11. Isaiah Stanback in the shotgun. Here they come. Blitz. Stanback's in trouble and almost lost the ball. Spins away, but they'll bring him down. And about the 29-yard line, and Washington's going to have to give it up. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Well, no wonder why the Sooners have given Washington's offense fits since James had that first touchdown. When they came off the field, Bob Stoops ran right over to the defensive unit and gave him a tongue lashing. He said, what did we do all week in practice? We talked about being physical. We talked about you moving your feet and putting yourself in position to make the tackles, and you let a guy go score on the first play. So they had fire in their eyes when they went back out there on their second drive.
They definitely look like it. One guy that's eyes have been burning is Larry Burdine. The defensive end has had a whale of a game in the first quarter. We know what Reggie Smith did the last time Sean Douglas punted it too far, and he's in trouble. Now he pooches it and got it out of there and did a good job.
There's no doubt that ball was going to be blocked.
Smith got by the first 2 again. Boy, he's shifty, out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Douglas did a great job. Free man came right up the middle. That was not a fake punt.
I think it was Jason Carter who came flying in there. And let's take another look.
Right up the middle.
High snap.
Can't even see him because he's right in front of the punter.
It was Jason Carter. And then he does the rugby thing to get it out of there.
He did a great job.
See that? Heads up play by a punter.
It's about time.
It's about time there was a heads-up play by a punter.
At the 36.
Was there ever a heads-up play about a punter in the booth here?
I would have actually run with the ball had I faked everybody out.
That's why you're up here.
And then it would have yeah.
Adrian Peterson, left side. Peterson's got a hole. Great speed. Inside the 40. Down to the 38-yard line. He rips it off for 26 yards.
Brad, this is not bad tackling. This is the guy outrunning the tacklers. Adrian Peterson, watch him get inside quick. Now back to his outside, and now watch this. That explosion, that was just an arm tackle, and you're not going to bring down Adrian Peterson with one arm. That was an explosion by the offensive back.
John Cooper, the center, number 50, gets a nice block. Then he just runs through and past a couple other defenders.
42 yards on 6 carries for AD so far. He gets the call again. Left side, ran into his own blocker and got about a yard. Wilson Afoa, a defensive tackle, junior, one of the 6 Hawaiians on the group for Washington, makes the stop. Adrian Peterson's got some lofty goals he talked with us about.
Well, a personal goal that I set for myself and something I feel like I can reach. You know, I work hard during the summer, working out, getting ready for the season. You know, and with the guys up front, you know, working hard. Also, you know, that's just one of the goals I feel like I can get.
In the preseason, he set 2,200 yards. He got with Bonnie yesterday, and he upped it 300. I don't know what the deal is about that.
Oh, he's having a good day.
Thompson back to throw. Hit as he throws, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Scott White, the linebacker. And Washington's got the turnover and the football back at the 38-yard line.
Oh, he just got hammered.
Theo Nesheim got him.
Number 66. I'm going to tell you what, Theo Nesheim, he comes in from the outside and just drills Thompson as he's throwing the football. Watch on the top side of your screen.
Up here.
He's going to come around the tackle, who doesn't even hardly, or inside the tackle, excuse me. And look at that play. That just sets it up for the middle linebacker to make the catch.
And you know, had he not hit him, Malcolm Kelly had about 3 steps on the safety back
He
there.
did. But that's the good part about pressure defense. They were blitzing, put the pressure on the quarterback.
Stand back to throw on first down, and he fires it into Oklahoma territory, a first down to Anthony Russo. So a good throw by Isaiah Standback, and Washington's back in OU territory. Tonight, ESPN and ESPN2 have a couple of great college matchups. We mentioned Arizona playing LSU. Mike Stoops and Les Miles getting together. And then Georgia and South Carolina. The old ball coaches 11-2 against the Dogs. They're both 1-0. Also available in high definition on ESPN HD and ESPN2 HD.
That should be a pretty good ball game, too.
Yeah, both ought to be pretty good. 1st and 10. Huskies on the run, and here goes Lewis Rankin. And Rankin's got it down to the 32-yard line. And somebody better hit somebody out there pretty soon, or Bob Stoops is going to bring the whole team over to the sideline.
Brad, this is all up the middle, Bobby. I mean, this is blocking with your offensive line. Look at this play up the middle. Just watch the white shirts knock off the red shirt. And look at the hole that's in the middle of that football field. There is just no chance for Oklahoma to make a play.
Walker, 63, got a nice block coming across.
Rankin again broke another tackle. Still on his feet, and he'll go down to the 27-yard line. Matt Weiner's got an update for us. Matt.
Hi, Brad. Iowa without quarterback Drew Tate today at Syracuse. He's got an abdominal strain, and the Hawkeyes now down 7-0. Perry Patterson to Taj Smith. Patterson 5 of his first 6, and that TD.
We saw Perry a year ago and still developing as a quarterback. Nice opening for Syracuse, though. Good opening. This doesn't look like a Washington team that's only won 2 games on the road in the last 2 years.
Osai right here. It's a redshirt freshman.
And Rankin got close to the first down marker. Rufus Alexander made the stop after Darian Williams made first contact.
You know, Brad, Bonnie's talking to the coaching staff about missed tackles. These guys are getting blocked all over the place. I mean, if you better learn how to get off the block before you're worried about the missed tackle.
Well, the first quarter was a good one. Both teams with big plays. One on a touchdown run, and then a long punt return that set up Oklahoma. Number 15, Oklahoma's got their hands full at home with the Washington Huskies in town. So we start the second quarter, and it's a 3rd down and 2. Important play here for the Huskies, who have another good drive going. Isaiah Stanback, this would be custom made for him to keep it, wouldn't it? Nope, keep it on the ground. Give it to Rankin, and Rankin looks like he's got a first down. So Rankin is the guy that doesn't start the ball game. Kenny James is the guy that starts, and all of a sudden Rankin comes in and he starts moving it. So 2 good tailbacks. We haven't had to worry so far about Isaiah Stanback running the ball. His tailbacks are doing the job.
I'm impressed with the offensive line for Washington. They're also new, 1 starter returning against that defensive line for Oklahoma. I'm impressed with them.
I am too. You know, you sit there, and I'm saying the Stanback has got to throw the ball, get the ball downfield. But he did throw on this series here. The first play he threw, he completed a pass, got a first down. It's going to help their running game immensely.
See what they do here with a first down at the 23-yard line. Stanback in the gun, and now he runs the quarterback draw. That's a play too late, Isaiah. I was trying to guess for you earlier. Larry Burdine is the guy that makes the tackle again. Let's take a look at our IBM Star Watch. Sonny Shackelford's been the leading receiver for the last 2 years for Washington. Doesn't have a catch yet today. Lewis Rankin, we told you, big play guy. Well, he's doing it on this drive. And Roy Lewis, defensively, is the #1 cornerback for the Washington Huskies. So those are 3 guys to watch in our IBM Star Watch. 7th play of the drive, a 2nd down and 11. Just inside the Oklahoma 23, and fighting for yardage on the inside, and a tough run by Lewis Rankin again. He got 8 yards. Demario Pleasant, the outside linebacker, made the stop, but again, it doesn't matter which side they run to. The holes are opening up, and they're keeping their legs moving.
Well, when you believe that you can knock the other guy off the ball and run the football, and that's exactly what Washington believes now. They don't believe that they really have to throw the football. They can run it against this team, and they are.
And that was an 8-man front for Oklahoma, and they still ran pretty good yardage.
And this is a team that was #4 in the country against the rush last year. 3rd down and 3.
Look at all the guys they got. They got 10 guys within 5 yards.
Stanback wants to throw across his body, and he zipped it out there. It's incomplete, intended for Johnny Curtin, the tight end.
Stanback could have run for a touchdown. He had a blocker in front of him. He had a wide field. He's got great speed.
Could he got away from the guy?
Huh?
Here he is right here. If he just runs the football right up here, he could run. He's got 4.4 speed.
And now they rush their field goal unit on.
Quarterbacks will always want the touchdown pass. You know? They want to throw it. They want to use their arm rather than use their feet.
Carl Bunnell to hold. Michael Braunstein will try a 32-yard field goal. He was 3 out of 7 earlier in his career kicking the ball, and he's got his first one here in Oklahoma on the road to give his team the lead back. So the Huskies had a good-looking drive. It stalled, but still they get 3 out of it. One of the biggest Oklahoma fans you'll ever find is Toby Keith. His movie premiered on Thursday.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
With Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein, Brad Nessler back in Norman, Oklahoma, where the visiting Huskies had the lead again. They led 7-0. Now they lead 10-7 after Braunstein's 32-yard field goal. He's got it teed up. Reggie Smith, Joaquin Iglesias are back deep for the Sooners. The Huskies fan out on their kickoff team, and it'll be Iglesias. They're offsides. Iglesias, though, will take it at the 1 and try to do something with it. Weaving through traffic, Joaquin Iglesias. He got out to the 30-yard line. Nice return of 30 yards.
They had that bunch kickoff coverage, Washington did, and they spread out as the kickoff guy was coming toward the ball, but then one of the players got across the line before he kicked the ball off.
And not a happy Ty Willingham. And here's Greg Burks.
Offsides on the kicking team, number 5. We'll add 5 yards from this spot. First down.
So it's going to be out to the 35-yard line. So the good return and the 5 more. And good starting field position for Paul Thompson and the Sooners. Thompson threw an interception on the last series.
I just don't know if coaches really like that five yards added on, especially when you have great return men.
Yep.
Now they got to kick the ball deeper. I don't know if they really like it.
From the 37, Thompson, the give to Peterson. Left side. They wrap him up at about the 40-yard line. The star of Broken Bridges is on the field with Bonnie.
Yeah, I got one of the most vocal Sooner fans out there, no pun intended, multi-platinum recording artist Toby Keith. You flew all the way back from L.A. to get to this game. What were you doing out there?
I was doing those movie premieres that you have to do everywhere. We had one in Nashville. I was on Leno and stuff the other night and got in here in time to watch my Sooner. Welcome to Oklahoma.
Great ensemble cast. Kelly Preston's your co-star. There's Burt Reynolds, Willie Nelson. Tell us what the movie's about in just a sec.
Okay.
We'll be right back to you. Toby, Finley in motion. A stretch play to Adrian Peterson. And Peterson's got a first down. Toby will be happy about that. Let's go back down to the field.
All right, so tell me the storyline of Broken Bridges.
Well, I play a down-on-his-luck songwriter. Kelly Preston plays my high school flame. I meet my 16, 17-year-old daughter for the first time. Burt Reynolds, Willie Nelson's in it. B.B. Winans, Tess Harper. A lot of great cast. We made a Southern movie in the South, and it's true to life as it can be.
You've turned down a lot of movie roles. This one's your first. Why'd you like this one?
Logistics. It was about the South, and it was about a subject that I knew something about. So.
All right. Well, I want to know about your opinion of OU football. Hang on just one sec.
First down at the 49. He's a huge Sooner fan in every sport. He was at a basketball game I did last year. Thompson pump fakes, wants it all. Malcolm Kelly's out there, just overshot it. Incomplete. Back to Bonnie.
Yeah, there should have been a flag there. Go ahead, Bonnie.
All right, Grace, what do you like about this year's OU team, Toby?
Well, they got a lot of young blood on the team. You can see Reggie Smith's going to be a star, and there's a lot of great defense, a lot of speed. This team's got a lot to be excited about. I know Bob's on them over here hard. I've been watching Bob. He's fired up. Washington come to play, so expect more fireworks this second half because it's going on right now.
All right, Toby, thanks for the time.
Keep on singing, Toby. Here's the last play. Kelly.
Lewis jams him right there. And you can jam him in college past 5 yards, but the ball was in the air. When the ball is in the air, you cannot touch him.
So second down and 10. Washington may have gotten away with one. Thompson rolls left and throws. Oh, what a hit by Lewis on Fred Strong. Ouch.
Well, I want to tell you something. I hope they have a dentist on this team.
We told you Lewis was a hitter back there at corner. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question. Who's the only quarterback inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame to graduate from either the University of Washington or Oklahoma? Think it over. We'll get back to you. Third down and 10 coming up. And the Sooners trying to draw even, trailing by 3. They trailed at home last week at one point to UAB. Now they're trailing a team that was only 2-9 a year ago. The natives are getting restless down here. Third down and 10.
Here they come. Look at the outside guys creeping up.
Thompson, they'll bring it. Paul stands in and fires and got his man inside the 35. Joaquin Iglesias, first down, Oklahoma.
You know what's really nice about this play? When you watch Joaquin Iglesias catch this ball, this is all hands. He just snatches the ball out of the air. This is the perfect throw and an outstanding catch. Paul Iglesias is inside. He's in the slot. You're going to see him come down. Now watch him when he breaks. Watch his hands. Look at his hands. Bink, I got the ball. He's down.
You know what went almost unnoticed on that play? Adrian Peterson threw the block that gave Thompson the chance to throw that pass.
Good point.
He can do it all.
And I like the throw by Thompson, but the pass before I didn't like so much.
Adrian Peterson gets to about the 30. Paul Thompson, of course, beginning of the season, he was a wide receiver before Rhett Bromar was dismissed from the team, and now he's right back at the quarterback spot.
Just knowing where this team wants to go, and I feel, I'm a guy that can get us there. Definitely excited about the opportunity as well, and was just ready to go. Once I made the decision, I was all in at the decision.
The decision, he was given a few hours by Coach Stoops to make a decision, and he came back in and said, Coach, I'm your guy. Adrian Peterson dropped for a loss, bring up a third down and long. If you don't know the story, and I know everybody in the state of Oklahoma does, and most college football fans do, Rhett Bromar would have been the starting quarterback, dismissed from the team, along with J.D. Quinn, an offensive lineman. They both since have transferred. And Bob Stoops, in talking to him, because of the character and the leadership of Paul Thompson and how much everybody in that locker room loves this fifth-year senior who has busted his butt for 5 years to be a quarterback or a wide receiver, he said, hey, What did we lose? We lost a guy that threw 10 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions last year. Potentially, could have Omar been great? Yeah, but maybe. But Paul Thompson can get the job done. We can win just as many games with him. Third down, slip screen, inside, Manuel Johnson. Oh, Johnson took a lick, too, from Jason Wells as he got to the 27-yard line. Now, this might be a little bit of decision time here. It's fourth down immediately, though. The field goal unit comes on.
Just to follow up, and the other choices to go to, the other two guys at quarterback were not on this team 6 months ago.
Right.
So it was an easy choice. He's very.
Who won a national championship for OU
and
back
Josh,
in 2000.
Josh is down there talking in his ear.
Garrett Hartley is going to try a 44-yard field goal. His career long was against Texas last year in Dallas from 52. Trying to tie it up from 44 yards away. Hartley kick on the way up and got it. We're even again at 10. So the Sooners have an answer for the Washington field goal. Both coaches liking what they see. Actually, we do too. 10-10.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. Capital One, what's in your wallet? And Subway, Yummalicious sandwiches on freshly baked bread at Subway restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Nice day in Norman, Oklahoma. 10-10 between the Huskies of Washington and Roy Lewis and the Sooners of Oklahoma and Garrett Hartley, who just hit the 44-yard field goal to even things off at 10 apiece. Kick is deep. Lewis Fields 5 yards in. He'll take a knee. Earlier, we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Who's the only quarterback inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame who graduated from one of these two schools? The answer, have you gotten it? Warren Moon, who was inducted in August. And there he is, the MVP of the 78 Rose Bowl, and a great player not only in the CFL but in the National Football League. Here he is as a Husky wearing number 1 and doing what he did so well. Thousands and thousands of yards and hundreds of touchdowns.
And it was long overdue that Warren went into that Hall of Fame.
We congratulate him if he's watching today, and I think he might be. 8:40 remaining. Isaiah Stanback. For him, Warren Moon's kind of a mentor. We'll talk about that as we go. And here is Stanback. Drops back. Now running for his life, and he's going to throw it away. I know, Bonnie, you had a chance to talk to Warren Moon about number 4.
Well, you know, Warren isn't just a mentor and a Hall of Famer and a fellow alum to Stanback. He is really somebody who has inspired him to persevere through a lot of stuff that Isaiah dealt with earlier in his career at UW. He hasn't talked about this much publicly, but he's gotten a pretty decent amount of racially charged emails saying you don't belong here, you should quit, and that would have bothered him had he not talked to Moon. He said he was the first African-American quarterback here, and he dealt with a lot more than I did, and he taught me I should use that as motivation to make myself better.
Well, that's a great story. And when you got a guy like Warren Moon as a guy that gives you advice, you listen to it, you take it, and you cherish it. You know, we talked about guys, Hall of Fame quarterbacks who played at one of these schools.
Why did you word it the way you did?
Well, because Troy Aikman, remember, started here before going to UCLA, got injured, and transferred to UCLA. So he went in with Warren, but he went in, of course, as a Dallas Cowboy and a UCLA Bruin. So that's one of those did you know?
Yeah, Keith Jackson and I actually did a game here at Oklahoma with Troy Aikman playing in his sophomore season.
You're not that old, are you?
Keith?
No, but Keith was.
Stanback over the middle screen, Marcel Reese. And he's got a first down for Washington. I was going to say, Keith did a great job in that game because he called the game and he caught a touchdown pass from his tight end spot. That was pretty good.
Brad, I'm going to tell you what, this is an outstanding screen. Watch the way they set this screen up. This screen is set up in the middle of the field. And look at all the white shirts. If they just turn and block instead of stop looking at the runner, they'll be able to they could have almost made a touchdown because they had nobody in front of them.
Well, Oklahoma had a blitz on. You saw Alexander and Latimer and all the defensive guys rushing. Stanback did a nice job of just holding it on, waiting till they got close to him, and then letting it go.
Kenny James again. Oklahoma doesn't wrap up. They finally knock him out of bounds. Short gain. So he goes out in front of the OU bench.
That was Steve Coleman, number 90, that misses the tackle. I mean, these guys, and Bonnie touched on it at the beginning. We talked to the coaches about it, and they are absolutely livid. These guys are missing people. Now, it's not a question of being in the right place at the right time. They're just not tackling anybody. They're reaching. They're not in a tackling position. They got their heads down instead of up.
We're going to send you out there and teach them how to tackle.
Well, I'd fine them all.
You what?
Fine them.
These
Can't
guys
do that
don't make,
in college.
they don't make any money.
Oh.
They don't have pizza money.
Well, they don't let them eat.
Second down and 11. Quick slant, nice play with a left hand broken up by DJ Wolf, who had a tough game last week, gave up a couple of big plays. And there he makes a dandy on the corner.
Impressed, though, with the way Washington is playing and handling this tough crowd and being on the road at Oklahoma. This is not an easy place to come and play. And they have not done well on the road the last few years.
You just saw the graphic a couple of plays ago. One win in the last 2 years. But they're not playing like that right now. Here's a play where OU might be licking its chops a little bit on defense. Third down and 11. Isaiah Stanback in the gun. Straight drop and going deep. He's got a man out there, and he's got him in stride. Inside the 20 is Anthony Russo. And Stanback shows you that gun of an arm he's got.
You know what?
You just mentioned that Wolf was doing well, and Wolf got beat that time.
You just praised Wolf. Hey, Brad, you don't praise anybody right away. He gets beat, and beat badly. Look at this.
Wolf, a couple years ago, was a running back. They moved him to corner, and Bob Stoops says he's doing well, but he has good plays and he has bad plays.
That was a bad one. First down, Washington at the 18-yard line. And look at the numbers they're putting up in the first half. And we still got 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. James back in at tailback, gets the call. He's met in the hole and got about 2. Rufus Alexander, the captain of the defense, made the stop. This crowd is in shock right now. Over 82,000 on hand here in Norman. They saw Washington score on the first offensive snap of the ball game. They led again 10-7 before the Sooners tied it up on the 44-yard field goal, and now they just watched Isaiah Stanback zip one 51 yards to Anthony Russo, and they're down in the red zone again. And Bobby Jack Wright is giving DJ Wolf something to think about out there. Second down and 8. Stanback over the middle, draped all over the receiver, but still making the catch and might have a first down is Johnny Curtin, the fullback. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And it has been a good first half because the opening snap was Kenny James off a missed tackle right there, going 54 yards for a touchdown. Thompson comes back, 7-yard strike to Kelly. That tied it at 7. Adrian Peterson, 54 yards. He's averaged about 5 yards a pop. Has not broken a real big one yet. And now Washington's got a 3rd and 1 and threatening again inside the OU 10-yard line. And this time they do get the first down. Kenny James just goes straight ahead. It's 1st and goal, Washington.
You know that Washington, Bob, they are controlling the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively.
Well, that's the guy I'm impressed with right there. He has taken his time and built this program back up from the ground level. 2-9 last year, and he's done it the right way with discipline and character and good characters on his team. He doesn't have the best talent in the world, but he's starting at the bottom and building them back up.
Huskies 1st and goal. Pull out of the fullback, shades to the left side, and it's a counter to James, who got to the 5. Got about a yard. Zach Latimer, the inside linebacker, made the stop. We wind our way near the 5-minute mark, and the Huskies trying to pull a shocker, at least for a half. They're doing their job.
You know what I really like about Washington, offensively and defensively? Their patience. They are very patient on what they're doing and very deliberate on what they're doing.
This is a spot where you look at a quarterback like Isaiah Stanback and you think 5-yard line, second down, quarterback draw. Well, they're going to think about it. They're going to call a timeout. Timeout taken. Just under 5 minutes left first half. Huskies threatening.
Matt Weiner in New York with his SportsCenter in-game update. Miami of Ohio takes Purdue to overtime in West Lafayette, where Corey Sheets ended it with his 4th touchdown of the day. The 11-yard touchdown run. Purdue wins it 38-31. Field goal's a bit of a problem for the Irish last week, but Carl Joya with a couple today to give the Irish a 6-0 lead on 19th-ranked Penn State in South Bend. That one in the second quarter. Let's send it back to Brad.
All right, Matt, thanks. Well, we thought old Purdue would have trouble with Miami of Ohio, and they did.
Yes, they did.
But they survived.
Yeah.
Illinois didn't do very well today. North Carolina State have struggled to start the season.
The most impressive team to me so far?
Rutgers.
Rutgers.
That's what I think, too.
Rutgers.
Second and goal. Remember Isaiah Stanback. We talked about him being a dual-threat quarterback. Whether he'll keep this ball or not, we'll see. Nope. Kenny James. He got about a yard. Bring up third and goal.
Yeah, they've converted 3 third and third down situations on this drive alone.
But I'd get old Stanback back out in space like he did the last time they were down here, Bob, where he has the option to run or pass. And this time, run it.
Did I just see New Hampshire beat Northwestern? Oh, there's some crazy things going on in the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Third and goal, Washington. 10-10 tie. Stanback in the gun. James will flank him to his left. And Isaiah now runs the quarterback keeper. And he's going to get swarmed under for a loss. They waited one too many plays to run that, I think, guys.
Oklahoma has too many good athletes on defense that are too quick. They can run with him sideways.
So now they'll bring out their field goal unit to try to regain the lead again.
Nobody's really that fast going left to right. You know that?
It's true.
Or right to left.
They had a first and goal at the 6. Now they've got 4th and goal at the 7.
Well, it was about time for that Oklahoma defense to
show up,
stand up, and do something.
24-yard field goal attempt by Michael Braunstein. The kick is up and good. He's got his second one of the day, and he's given his team the lead back. Well, Oklahoma is coming up next. That means number 28, AD, and what's he got on his plate when we return?
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Rufus Alexander, the Butkus candidate, being worked on the sideline, the senior leader, and a guy that they put in the same category as the Rocky Kalmuses and the Brian Bosworths and the Teddy Lemons, and they say he's in that caliber, but apparently a little stinger going on or something with his neck that they're working on the sideline. That would be a big chunk out of their linebacking core. Braunstein will tee it up after hitting another field goal, and back deep, Iglesias and Reggie Smith. Iglesias got a nice return on the last kick, and we saw what Reggie Smith could do as a punt returner earlier, a 62-yarder. But Tyrone Willingham has got to be feeling good about how things look right now on the road against the number 15 team in the country and leading 13-10.
And on the opposite side, Bobby Stoops has got to be a little bit concerned about his troops struggling last year against TCU, in fact losing the opening game, struggling last week against UAB because of 4 turnovers, and struggling here again today.
Reggie Smith from the 3. Smith up the middle, spinning his way across the 25-yard line. That's where Oklahoma will go to work. This is the Cooper Tire Bowl Challenge Cup, which was awarded to the Big 12 and ACC conferences because they had the highest winning percentage in bowl games last year. Good looking trophy from our friends at Cooper Tires. Here with 3:19 remaining in the first half. It's Oklahoma just outside its own 25-yard line. Let's see if they can get anything going with number 28 as you look from behind. Adrian Peterson. He'll get the call. And met in the hole immediately. got about 3 yards on the play. Washington leading a number 15 team in the country, exactly what Ty Willingham was hoping for.
You can't ascend to being a good football team until you beat a good football team. And right now, this is a top 10 team, and it is what most people would consider a top 10 program. That they've been to the top, and they've been to the top recently. So therefore, when you beat them, now you have a real measure of who you are and the kind of team you can be.
This team starting to become a believer. Paul Thompson, nice play fake, gonna go long, got a man out there, he undershot him, the adjustment almost made by Kelly, and Matt Fontaine was out there defensively. Paul didn't get enough on that. Kelly had a step or two, maybe didn't let it go fast enough, because Kelly is fast and he was way downfield.
Yeah, Paul Thompson is not going to win any passing titles. He's not going to win you over with his form and his throwing pattern. Little stop and go. This had a chance. If he would have gotten the ball out there, I saw him working on this in practice the other day. Quarterback was pumping and then getting out. He was just late getting rid of the football. That had 6 points written all over it if he would have gotten it out further.
Now it's an empty backfield with Peterson in the slot. Thompson comes up throwing. Looks like a first down catch out to Fred Strong. Let's see where they mark it. Roy Lewis was defending. That was right in front of the Oklahoma bench and right on our yellow line. So let's see where they spot it.
First down.
Put it down at the 36 and move the chains.
Well, I just saw that play before this when Fontaine grabbed Kelly as he went by. I guess that's not illegal in college football. You're allowed to grab the guy by the arm as they go by.
You're not really supposed to do that.
Just, he went by, Fontaine grabbed him by the arm, and, I guess that's good.
Thompson looks one way, comes back the other. Ooh. And that was almost a lateral to Adrian Peterson. And Adrian paid the price. Dan Howell out there with Fontaine to make the stop.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. There's one of those plays where you get your Heisman Trophy candidate killed. I mean, they flipped this ball out, and Adrian Peterson, he's catching the football, so he really doesn't see the guy coming up. And Howell just nailed him.
Second down and 11. Again, Thompson in the gun, comes up throwing, got a man. Kelly just snatches it in. Boy, you can tell he's going to be a good one, Bob. He had the hands out there, big hands, big target.
I like him a lot. He's young. Sometimes he rounds off his routes, but he's just in the program a little bit over a year. And as we said, led the team in receptions last year with 32.
For 471 yards and a couple of touchdowns. He has a touchdown already today of 7 yards. That's the only touchdown for Oklahoma. And there's his numbers so far on the day with 1:34 remaining in the half and the ball right on the midfield stripe. Oklahoma trying to tie it or lead it, go into the locker room. Thompson again, quick throw. And 5-yard gain to the 45 to Iglesias.
So what you get with Paul Thompson, he's not a finished quarterback, or else he would have been the starting quarterback last year when he had the opportunity. What he is, he's inconsistent. But he is the leader of this team, and that's what they've got. That's all they've got. He's a fifth-year guy who's 22 years old, who all the players love and respect, and that's the guy they're going with. They don't have anybody else. The backup is a junior college guy that wasn't here 6 months ago, and the other guy is a true freshman.
Sam Bradford, the true freshman. Joey Halsley, the JUCO transfer that Bob's talking about. Second down, long 4. Blitz coming. Thompson in trouble. Now he's got a seam inside the 40. 35. First down at the 32-yard line. And there's something else he can give you. That looked more like a wide receiver in the open field.
Yes, he did. He started 3 games at wide receiver. And this is only his 3rd started quarterback, but he's been around for a long time.
Minute 23, and now they wind the clock as they set the chains at the 33-yard line. Thompson's got something going here for Oklahoma. Throws, strike down to the 20. Got it to Reggie Smith playing offense.
And Smith did a nice thing. He kind of hung in an open area. He was in the slot, and he knew that he was open, and he knew that he was going to get the football, and he finally got it.
So the starting corner, who we told you would play both ways and be the return man today, has his first catch. Now it's Peterson, and he covers the ball just in case, but it's incomplete. It'll bring up second down and 10, and OU can kind of regroup and take a deep breath at the 20-yard line of Washington with just over a minute left in the half.
Brad, what I'm seeing here is Scott White, who is a linebacker, an outside linebacker, whatever side that Julian Peterson lines up on, he moves to that side. He watches Peterson. I've watched him the last 3 plays. He watched Peterson come out of the huddle, and he goes to where he is.
Who's Julian Peterson?
I think you meant Adrian Peterson.
Excuse me, Adrian Peterson.
I think he's down here in the fresh air.
Second down and 10 at the 20. Thompson in the gun. The tight end hasn't caught a ball yet to the end zone and just overshooting Iglesias, who went high up in the air, but the pass a little too deep. C.J. Wallace was covering, and it'll bring up third down and 10.
That was a tough completion. Coming right at you. All right, check your protection. Step up. Looked off. Didn't get a good spin on it. Didn't get a good revolution on the football, and it just sailed high on him. But he did do the right thing, and he looked the safety off left. But then when you come back to get ready to throw it, take a split second and then throw it. Get your shoulders and your feet set. He didn't do it that time.
3 wideouts. Peterson with him on 3rd and 10 from the 20. Thompson with time, fires in and out of the hands, and is it intercepted? Very close.
No.
Hit the ground. Finley, the tight end, they finally went at him. It ricocheted off, and C.J. Wallace almost had an interception.
Take a look from behind. Check the protection. Adrian Peterson staying in this time. That's a good throw. That's a good throw. It was a lot better than the other one. There's going to be good throws and bad throws for a while.
Iglesias, guys, kind of limped off after that as he got all twisted up at the end of the play.
Don't know exactly who he was throwing that ball to. He may have been throwing that ball to Iglesias.
He was. It wasn't Finley. Finley jumped in to try to catch it, the tight end, but it wasn't to him.
Garrett Hartley will try a 37-yard field goal to tie the game, and he's got it. So both field goal kickers have done their job. Less than a minute remaining here in Norman in the first half, tied at 13.
The game face is how champions prepare for a challenge, no matter the arena.
So the Sooners covered 55 yards. They were hoping for a touchdown. They settled for a field goal. We're tied at 13 as we check in with Bonnie.
When we were talking to Ty Willingham yesterday, Brad, remember he talked about one of the areas of improvement that's sort of an intangible. He said, I like the way my team's thought process has changed, because thought process is directly related to a team's attitude. And when you have a positive attitude, it's just amazing what you can accomplish. Now, let's remember Washington went 2-9 last year, so you can't expect miracles. But he says, any kid who comes into this program, I tell him, you have to have the attitude. You want to be a championship player, a championship student, and a championship person. And little by little, he's been chipping away at Washington's recent struggles. And, you know, the issue is it the chicken or the egg here? Which one comes first?
I don't know if Ty was a psych major at Michigan State, but he can make anybody believe things.
I know. Every time I sit down and talk with him, I'm saying, Ty, did you play football? Speak up. Talk louder. Attitude and character.
Don't forget, join us for the launch of Monday Night Football on ESPN. Special doubleheader for you coming up on Monday night. First at 7 o'clock Eastern. Brad Johnson and the Minnesota Vikings take on the Washington Redskins in D.C. And then at 10:15 Eastern, it's the Chargers and LaDainian Tomlinson against Randy Moss and the Raiders in Oakland. Monday Night Football on ESPN starts in 2 days. Both games available in high definition on ESPN HD.
Hey, who's doing that game in Oakland?
I think I'm going to mosey over there after we're done here.
Well, Bob and I aren't doing anything.
You're not doing anything here either.
Wait a minute, I got one name wrong. I got half of his name right.
Rufus Alexander, bad neck or not, just got in on the tackle and stopped Lewis Rankin for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and the half will expire. And the Huskies have to be very proud in front of a big OU crowd with what they've done. And look at the little bit of a smile on Ty Willingham's face. There won't be one on Bob Stoops, I can almost guarantee you, as both teams head to the locker room. The number 15 Sooners, the unranked Huskies of Washington. And here in Norman, Oklahoma, we've had a good first half. Oklahoma 13, the Huskies 13. Back in Norman, Oklahoma, number 15 Sooners tied with Washington 13-13. The out of whack stat. How about the play selection today? OU's thrown more passes than rushes. Adrian Peterson, though, is over 50 yards on 12 carries. Welcome back, Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire. Washington's looked good from the get-go in this game.
Yeah, the one thing I really like about Washington, both sides of the line of scrimmage, the offensive line, defensive lines, they are controlling Oklahoma.
And I think this guy right here brought his team to play.
You know, no turnovers, only one penalty. You're right. I mean, he's got them playing on the road where they haven't had success in the past, and I like what's happening. I'm surprised, but pleasantly so.
And Bonnie talked about it earlier. He has them believing, and right now they believe that they can pull an upset in front of 82,000 plus in Norman, Oklahoma. We'll find out. We got 2 quarters to go, and Washington gets the ball first. Roy Lewis back there in return formation, and Garrett Hartley has got it teed up for Oklahoma. So after last week's narrow escape against Alabama Birmingham, the folks in Norman and around Oklahoma that are Sooner fans were a little restless and wondering what was wrong. And now it's tied at 13 against a team that's only won 2 games on the road the last 2 years, and they're still wondering what's wrong. The kick will chase Lewis about 7 yards deep, and he won't bring it out. So the Huskies will start at their own 20-yard line. Let's take a look. Pacific Life game summary. Washington has outrushed Oklahoma and Adrian Peterson. There's a little bit of a wacky stat for you, too. Total yardage relatively even. The 1 turnover is an interception thrown by Thompson. And the total number of plays last week, Oklahoma had its fewest number of plays in 50 years. They only had 53 offensive snaps, so they're above average today.
They should have a lot more than that today.
Here's Isaiah Standback. Didn't do anything spectacular, didn't do anything wrong, though, either in the first half. And Lewis Rankin will join him as the single setback. And Rankin gets the toss to the left side. And Rankin got the corner and got almost 10 yards before he's run out of bounds. Ty Willingham, I assume, is pretty happy. Bonnie had a chance to talk to him.
You know what he was really happy about? The great table setter that Kenny James provided, scoring the touchdown in the first play of the game. He said you have to seize momentum as early as you can against Oklahoma, because if they get it in their house, everything's going to go pretty much downhill for you the rest of the day. On offense, he wants to see them push the ball down the field more quickly. Better execution of the base offense. On defense, he'd like to see them take away some of the Sooners' quick plays that Thompson's been able to complete.
They have done very, very well, and they have started off the third quarter very well with a 10-yard gain on the first snap. It's Rankin now trying to get to the right corner, and he got there as well. And he's run out of bounds after a pickup of about 7 more. So, you know, the first 5 minutes of the third quarter is always so important. And Washington's come out and said, it's our football. We're tied with you. Here we come.
Always interested to see what happens when the teams come out after halftime. The coaches have been in there telling you what we got to go out. Usually the first couple of plays that are run are the ones that they like best coming out. And both of them have been wide plays.
And he got 10 one way and 9 the other.
I'll tell you, Rankin just showed everyone a whole lot of speed.
He is the speed back of the 2, and we saw Kenny James not exactly slow on his first carry of the game. Here's a quick throw and a first down out to the 45, the 46-yard line to Corey Williams. So now they're doing a little bit of whatever they want to do, because the tailbacks are both working well. Standback hasn't even had to use his ability as a runner, and now he comes up throwing.
Well, you know the thing about when you Washington, if you go all the way back to the beginning of the game, the touchdown was up the middle. What they have done to Oklahoma, Bob, is that they're beating him to the outside, they're beating him inside, and now they're just throwing. When you do that, you can throw passes wherever you want.
Well, it's not quite as easy as you make it sound.
Yeah, it is.
They're going to throw on first down again. That one wasn't too easy. Thrown behind Johnny Curtin, the intended receiver, the tight end.
The one thing I have noticed is that Holmes, number 11, is in a defensive corner in place of Wolf, DJ Wolf. DJ Wolf was the one that was having problems last week, got burned for one of the deep throws in the first half, and Holmes is in there now at that corner spot.
And Lendy has been in there since that 51-yard pass play that Bob was talking about in the second quarter. Second down and 10.
Here they come.
And there they go. Rankin's only going to get about a yard and a half out of the play. So the blitz pays off. Darian Williams from the secondary, the guy that made this stop. Bob Stoops, I'm sure, wasn't happy. Bonnie's got more on that. Bonnie?
It wasn't as bad as I expected. You know, for as much as we've talked about tackling in this game, he said the 2 plays that killed us was the Kenny James play, of course, and then that bomb that Steinbach hit Anthony Russo for midway through the second quarter that set up the field goal. He said everything else was in between. It was okay, but you know, big plays are big plays, and they wind up as points on that big jumbotron here.
Yep, they were 105 yards of their total yardage on the 2 plays you mentioned. 3rd down and 10. Coming off the corner, Steinbach going deep. Incomplete. This time good coverage by Lendy Holmes, and that was very similar to the pass play that Russo and Steinbach hooked up with in the second quarter.
And I think Bob Stoops was one of the ones that just had the authority, obviously, being the head coach. He gave Wolf a chance last week after he kind of messed up a little bit, started him again this week, gave him a chance, tried to give him some confidence. And he got beat again, so Holmes is the guy that's in there now.
And Reggie Smith is back deep, awaiting Sean Douglas' punt. Douglas, remember, had an 82-yard punt in the first half going the other way, but Reggie Smith, beg your pardon, took it 62 the other direction.
Yeah, if there's any wind, it's coming from our right to left, and he was definitely kicking into in that punt.
Well, the good news is he kept it out of Reggie's hands. The bad news is it was a 23-yard kick. And there you see the wind atop Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. The clouds have rolled in a little bit. We had a beautiful morning and a good day for football.
Brad, and Adrian Peterson does very well in the second half, and
yes,
I would imagine we will get a very big dose of him.
In the first half, AD had 58 yards on 12 carries. Here he comes with his first of the second half. And there he goes. Adrian Peterson into Washington territory right on cue. There's what Paul was talking about in his career. 62% of his yards have come in the second half.
Oh, he just outruns A.J. Wallace. I mean, A.J. Wallace is out there on this as a safety. Watch it, bottom of the screen. Number 1. Watch this. He just outruns him.
And A.J. Wallace is probably their best defender.
There's the numbers for Adrian Peterson.
13 times is not nearly enough. Eric Peterson has always said, give me more, give me 25 times, give me it 30 times.
And they'd like to get it to him 30 or 35 times between rushes and receptions. And we mentioned earlier, I think, in the ball game, in the first game of the season, he carried 11 straight times. And we said to the coaches, Paul said to Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, did you really give it to him 11 straight times? And he said, I don't know, did we? I think he got kind of wrapped up and go, yeah, let's keep giving it to him.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, he doesn't get tired.
2nd down and 10. This time in the shotgun. Here comes a blitz. Thompson throws. Nice throw out to Kelly. And he should have a first down right at the first down marker. In front of Matt Fontaine. So that's going to move the chains again. So Oklahoma's got something going on their first series of the second half.
And, the first series of the second half, after you come out, the coaches have told you what the other team is doing offensively or defensively. This is the best plays. This is what we want to come out. Let's go out and move the first possession, take it down and score.
In Washington territory now, just inside the 48-yard line. Straight drop, Thompson throwing, got a man open. Kelly in and out of his hands. Would have had a first down inside the 30 and didn't hold it.
What Adrian Peterson does to a defense is very simple. You've got to put either a linebacker and or a safety on him. And what happens with that is if you take a look at Oklahoma throwing the ball down the field, Kelly has got one-on-one coverage. Iglesias has one-on-one coverage all over the field. You've got to be throwing the ball to these guys.
You're exactly right. And a lot of the times they're hitting him, and some of the times when they're open, Thompson's just a little bit off, and they're incomplete.
Blitz coming off the corner. They throw it the other way. Complete the quick pass to Fred Strong.
Pass is complete to Fred Strong.
Fontaine picks up about 5 yards. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Yeah, we were talking about Peterson, Brad. Obviously, he's dealing with all of this Heisman media hype, but he was telling me that's also been compounded this year by the sort of big brother surveillance he was telling me he's dealing with. What's he doing? Who's he hanging out with? What kind of car he's driving? And that's kind of been the situation. It happenstance simply because of the issues that Oklahoma was dealing with the whole Romar situation.
Well, you got to keep your eye on your star, and he is the face of Oklahoma football right now, quite frankly. Here he comes on a swing pass. He's got a first down, and they're making a concerted effort to give him a little more in the passing game, and he's doing well with it. And of course, as a freshman, over 1,900 yards last year because of the injuries, over 1,100, and he talked with us about the difference between now and when he was 19 years old.
Just knowing what you're doing makes it a lot easier. You know, coming my freshman year, I was still in the learning process, and still kind of hesitant out there with some of my blocks and my footwork and different things like that.
I tell you what,
I like what they're doing. I like with them trying to get the ball out in the open space.
Now the throw down the sideline. Kelly, touchdown, Oklahoma. His second of the day. And Thompson put that one right where it had to be.
I'm telling you, you get that one-on-one coverage, and you've got to go outside. And it's not that I don't care that you have Adrian Peterson in the backfield, but when you got one-on-one coverage on the outside, Kelly can beat most of them.
So Kelly, a 35-yard touchdown catch after his 7-yarder in the first half. And he's already got as many touchdown receptions as he had all of last year just in this game. Hartley in for the point after this to try to give Oklahoma the lead for the first time today, and they've got it. So Washington had a good opening drive and stalled. Oklahoma got the ball, mixed it up beautifully with Adrian Peterson and Paul Thompson, and finally his big wideout, Kelly, makes it 20-13. A high-definition touchdown pass, Paul Thompson to his big wide receiver, Malcolm Kelly. There's Malcolm's numbers last year, and I mentioned he's got 2 touchdowns already today. We'll take a look at that touchdown after the kickoff. Garrett Hartley will tee it up. Oklahoma with a big passing advantage. At halftime, the stats were all flip-flop compared to what you would expect. Hartley's kick. Lewis again chased deep. And nobody can seem to start from anything but about the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown throw.
Okay, you've got 9 guys that are looking right at Adrian Peterson. Heisman Trophy. You want to stop him, stop his run. You got single coverage on the outside with Kelly. That's Kelly working against Goldson. He's had an ankle problem. He looks in, now he's beat, and this time Thompson gets the ball out far enough, and that's an easy score.
Goldson, number 8, defending, not to defend him, but he's playing on a high ankle sprain and didn't start the ball game today because of that. The scoring drive, 69 yards in 7 plays. And now stand back from the shotgun. Isaiah's got some heat, got away from it. Now on the run. He throws a jump pass, and it almost got intercepted by Rufus Alexander. Now you hear the chants of Roof.
You know how good a linebacker Rufus Alexander is, and he shows you on that play. He's the kind of guy that can cover a lot of territory, but what his concentration was on the football. And when Stanback comes out, the rollout, he had him in a position where he can lock him up if he runs, and if he throws, which he tried to do, he knocked the ball down.
Second down and 10 for the Huskies. Now the crowd, for the first time really, I think, in the ball game, getting into it. You can see them on the far side, and you can definitely hear them. Now they're really going to come to life. Calvin Thibodeau, who forced the last play to the outside, makes the tackle there.
I see a little bit of a spark in Oklahoma that I haven't seen in the first half.
A little swagger.
and a little indecision on the part of some of the running backs for Washington because of that.
And now the Sooners defense will pin its ears back because it's 3rd down and all of 10, almost 11.
Well, this is the 5th time they've been in 3rd and 10 or longer.
In motion, it's going to be 3rd and 15 now. Curtin came out of his stance, the tight end, who was flanked on a wing on the right side. So it's going to make the 3rd down situation even more of a challenge, and it's going to be even louder in here. Here's Greg Burks.
Number 37 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Only the 2nd penalty on Washington couldn't come at a worse time. Time permitting. Stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental Report featuring scores and highlights. John and Pony and Doug will be back in New York with all of that after our game. Back at the 15-yard line. 3rd down and 15. And now Memorial Stadium starting to rock. Washington does the safe thing, and Rankin gets about 6 or 7. They'll have to give it up.
Boy, I like that call, and I'll tell you why I like it, Bob. I mean, you got 3rd and long. You're deep in their territory. You're only 7 points out of this ball game, and to make a huge mistake down there now would be treacherous for these guys.
You know, I'm surprising myself here, but I'm agreeing with you.
We're only in the 2nd game, and you agree with me once. I love this.
Yeah.
Sean Douglas to punt. Look out for number 3. He already took 162 yards in the 1st half. Here's the pressure, and they block it. Punt is blocked. Oklahoma's going to have it near the 30-yard line. Jason Carter, who almost got one earlier in the game, just got that one.
I think he came up the same spot that he came up before.
He came so close. And last time,
there in the middle,
Douglas had to pooch punt it. Here comes Carter again. Same gap, better result. 2 big plays that he's made. That one even bigger than the first. And now it's Oklahoma with a lead in the ball at the Washington 31-yard line. Jason Carter out of Tulsa.
All right, you got one-on-one out here. Let's see if they go downtown.
On the kick. On the kicking team. It'll be Oklahoma's ball at the spot of the touch. 1st down.
When that ball came down, Brad, it hit a Washington player, and that's why they moved the ball downfield further.
So it's going to be even better for Oklahoma.
Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, is calling this play. Ty's talking about, you know, they did a little cross. He's a snapper they're talking to right there.
Peterson broke a tackle inside the 20. Adrian Peterson out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Adrian Peterson is one of those backs that his legs never stop moving. People say, you know, 2nd effort. I don't believe in that. I think it's a continuous effort. Watch his legs when he comes through. His legs are moving. Now watch, he's hit. His legs never stop. He doesn't hesitate. He's always forward. He is north and south all the time.
Why does he do better in the 2nd half than he does in the 1st half?
Because for all the years of watching great runners, and he's a great runner, the more they touch the ball, the more comfortable they are, the better they get.
Here's his 16th touch. And he broke a tackle, and he got almost 5 more yards.
I think it's because the great runners relax. In the 1st half, they may be a little excited. They may hit the hole a little quick. They may do a read too quickly. And in the 2nd half, they're relaxed. They're going to let everything form and develop in front of them. And I just think that in the 2nd half, when you get your 15 to 20 to 25 carries, you're just more patient.
Well, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say, as opposed to quarterbacks who tire early and get pooped out, and then they really have a problem with stamina.
2nd down.
That was the end of mine. I'm sorry, Brad.
Peterson, the tailback, and a whistle, and a penalty marker down. So that stalls and backs up to a 2nd down and long for Oklahoma.
False start, offense, number 72.
They had 2
5-yard penalty.
false starts on
Second
the
down.
opening series of the ball game. And so they add another one here, and it's going to be 2nd down and 11, back just outside the 15-yard line.
You know, Bob, we were at practice the other day, and you look at these 2 big tight ends that they have on Oklahoma's team, and they have not thrown the ball to either one of these guys today.
That's a good point. That's the true freshman right there, Gresham.
That's Finley, number 19. He'll
Finley
be
is
in motion.
19, yeah.
They throw to him now, but he only got about a yard. Good call, Paul.
Vibes. We got vibes coming up here.
7.5 to go, third quarter. Let's get a Sports Center update. Here's Matt.
Brad, Boston College down 7 at halftime to Clemson, but not for long. Freshman Jeff Smith right out of the locker room and into the end zone. 96 yards. They're so not catching the former high school sprint champion from Pennsylvania. That game now tied up at 17. All Notre Dame at South Bend, meanwhile. That sometimes maligned Irish defense is not only pitching a shutout through the third quarter, into the third quarter, I should say, but Paul Zibikowski has just scored on a fumble recovery, 27-zip.
All right, Matt, keep us posted. We've got an injured Sooner down. It's Brandon Walker, the right guard. We'll check on him, and we'll see how they do on a 3rd down and 9 when we come back.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by the totally new Jeep Compass. Freedom in a whole new dimension. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Back in Norman, Oklahoma, Washington trying to prevent another OU score. 3rd down and 9, Oklahoma just inside the Washington 15-yard line. Thompson was in the gun. Looked like he was going to come up under center, and now has Peterson flanking it. Here comes a blitz. He throws over the middle, tipped, and Kelly almost got to it. The pass was intended for Iglesias.
Yeah, he should have hit him. He had him wide open. Just some inconsistency in Thompson. There's a lot of throws that he makes that he should hit, that he just a little, I don't know whether he's excited or if he's just inconsistent all the time. But there's a few throws here that he should have had.
Garrett Hartley comes out. He's 2 for 2 on field goals today. And this one's going to be from about 30 yards and the right hash mark.
It will be a 30-yard attempt.
It'll be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Hayes McEachern to hold. Kick on the way, and he got another one. So Oklahoma extends its lead to 10 points. So the lead is extended 23 to 13. And remember, that followed the block punt. So after a good-looking drive of 69 yards and Thompson hitting Malcolm Kelly for the 35-yard touchdown, then that guy, Jason Carter, who almost blocked one earlier, the senior out of Jenks High School in Tulsa, and a great program at Jenks. Alan Trimble and his crew up the street, who beat Tulsa Union last night 9-6 in that big rivalry. And Jason Carter, a former Jenks Trojan star, with the block punt.
Should have had one earlier, like you said, and then Oklahoma came back to it. Let's take a look at this last offensive play. The receiver's going to come down from our left side. Take a look at what Thompson sees here. Nobody in the center of the field. Look how wide open this is.
Oh.
Should have thrown it more to the inside. Let him run a little bit further. When you know you got a guy on a slot, in the slot alignment, running a post to the middle of the field, and there's nobody in the middle of the field, you just want to lay it out in front of him and just let him go. I mean, you don't want to throw it hard. You might miss it. Just lay it out in front of him.
Well, the first half of the third quarter has belonged to Oklahoma. And Hartley, who's been a perfect kicker today with field goals, extra points, and especially his kickoffs have been deep, set the kick again. And again, Roy Lewis stands in about the same spot, about 5-6 yards deep, and says, man, I can't bring one out today. Good job by Hartley. Tomorrow, don't miss the dramatic conclusion to the closest championship battle in IndyCar Series history. Just 1 point separating the top 2 drivers heading into the final race of the year. Coverage of the peak antifreeze Indy 300 begins tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, right here on ABC. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein looking on in Norman, Oklahoma, as Isaiah Stanback comes down now 10 down. Hasn't been in that situation yet today.
Yes.
It's the 5th straight time he's got to work from his own 20-yard line.
Second half has been all Oklahoma.
Well, in Oklahoma's playing man coverage on the outside.
Rankin hit in the hole, and now the Oklahoma defense is feeding off its offense. DeMarcus Granger, the first guy there to meet Lewis Rankin.
Brad, when you're looking, you look at Oklahoma lined up on first down. Washington spread it out on the top side. There's one-on-one coverage, and Washington's not even looking at it.
Alexander, you see the intensity in those eyes as he looks to get the call from Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator on the sideline. 2nd down and 10. And again, the Huskies find themselves in that noisy spot down there inside their own 20. Stanback over the middle, too low, intended for Corey Williams, and it's incomplete. Rufus Alexander was there, and again, you hear the chants of Roof. And Rufus is a good one. Top tackler last year, over 100 tackles, 5 sacks. He was the preseason choice as the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Sometimes we think there are too many awards these days, but we're on the voting list on a lot of them. He's up for the Bednarik, the Lott, the Lombardi, the Nagurski, and the Butkus Award.
Well, and this just shows you not only can he play the run, but he can cover downfield.
4 times Oklahoma has won the Butkus Award. Brian Bosworth won it twice. Teddy Lehman and Rocky Kalmus also won it.
You know, he's got 6 career forced fumbles, does Alexander.
Empty backfield except Stanback, and he's back there and almost tripped up. Got away and throws complete, and he's got a first down. Now that shows you the dimension that Isaiah adds to their offense.
You want to talk about some great feet. Watch his feet when he goes back. He should have been sacked. Stand back.
That's Thibodeau.
Watch him get his composure. Now watch his feet. He's going to stop. He's going to turn. And then he finds the open receiver, Curtin, and makes the play. I mean, that is outstanding.
Thibodeau thought he probably had another sack.
Yep. Well, he put his hand down, but his knee didn't go down. At the 32, first down Washington. Toss sweep to Rankin. Waits for his blockers and now explodes up the middle and got out to the 38-yard line. So Rankin has played the majority of this half after Kenny James scored on the first offensive snap of the ball game from 54 yards out. Rankin, who had 145 yards on the ground last week, has 67 on 14 carries here today. But he's always a threat to break the big one. He's the speed back of the 2. Got 6 on the last carry. 2nd down and 4 with 5 minutes and change remaining in the 3rd quarter. Stanback pumps once. Might be a holding call here. Isaiah runs and fires and had a man open and overshot him. It looks to be a holding call. It's going to bring up 3rd down unless they take the penalty. And it's holding against the Huskies. And I'm sure this one will be accepted, and it'll back them up to 3rd down at about 13, roughly. Greg Burks, our referee. And the options being given out to Rufus Alexander. And Roof says, coach says, let's take him back a ways. Here's a call.
Holding on the offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, previous spot, 2nd down.
So 2nd down it stays, 2nd and 14. Bonnie?
Quick update on right guard Brandon Walker, the sophomore newcomer for the Sooners. When he got hurt on that last drive, he couldn't even put any pressure on that right leg, but he's been running around on the sideline. Now the trainers are scurrying to get his leg brace on. It looks like he's going to try to go back in, Brad.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Thanks for the report. Stand back, plenty of time. Deep middle, overshot his intended receiver. Corey Williams again, and Isaiah didn't pull the string on that one. He has got a big-time arm as far as being able to throw it a mile.
Yeah, exactly. Strong arm, throw it a long way, 70, 75 yards. He's a baseball player. Says he plays center field, but that time Should have took a little off of it because that receiver was coming into the open area.
There's his third down passing so far. And he just got a first down the last time they had third down, and that was on the scramble where he put his hand down, rolled to his left, and found his tight end Curtin. Let's see what he can do on 3rd and 14, though. Here comes a corner blitz. Stanback got away from that, and now he's got some room on that side, but will it be enough? Whoa, he's diving for the first down marker, and if it isn't a first down, it's one of the best efforts we've seen all day.
I thought he was going to cut it back inside again where he would have had some more running room instead of taking it back to the outside and diving for the first down.
If you weren't with us earlier, this kid is fast.
Real fast. 10-400-meter fast.
Watch this. He escapes. Okay, now he's back to the outside. Here's where, if you look back in the inside, look at the room he's got. You only have one guy to beat.
What an effort, though.
Well, you know what he saw? He saw the first down marker there on the sideline, and he wanted to just get the first down. But I agree with it. If he would have gone back inside, he may still be running.
Well, what they're saying is that he stepped out of bounds on the 40-yard line.
It's going to be 4th down and 2.
Well, every play is reviewed.
And that's what is going to happen here, apparently. No, they're bringing out the punting unit.
Take a look here, see if we can see it.
Yeah, he's out. The right foot is outside the line. Great effort, though. Well, Sean Douglas, after his first punt, was averaging 82 yards a punt. After 4 punts, he's down to 40 yards a kick. He got a nice one here, though. Reggie Smith goes back to the 11. Reggie, great move to spin to his right, and got 6 or 7 out of it. So Oklahoma has got the football. We've got a timeout with 4:26 left. What do you think AD is going to do when he comes back? How about it, Adrian? Give us your thoughts.
Coming up, we get the ball, and I'm going to try to take it to the end zone.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Oklahoma has scored on its last 4 possessions. They lead 23-13. And there's the possessions. Interception in there, but field goals and touchdowns the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's the opposing 22. That was after the punt block.
Adrian Peterson said, I'd like to take it to the house. Let's see how he does on his first carry. And a penalty marker on the play at the 16-yard line. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Lot of athlete support here for the football team. Sherry Cole in her 11th season now, coming up as a women's basketball coach. How much does your team love coming out to the games?
We love college football. We tailgate every weekend. A lot of times obviously have recruits on campus, and then after the signing period we actually plan practice where we make sure we're not head-to-head with football. We got to go to the game first before we work out.
And you're shooting t-shirts into the stands, I saw?
Anything and everything we can do. You know, it only takes about a quarter of these people to fill up the Lloyd Noble Center, so we do what we can.
Your team had quite a season last year, round the table in the Big 12. How much of that had to do with Courtney Paris, the freshman who can do just about everything? Hang on 1 second, Sherry.
First down and 19 after the holding call. Thompson and whistle, and might have another penalty. Brandon Braxton might have come out of his stance, and Oklahoma's going the wrong way.
No, I think that...
False start, 76 offense.
That's the call.
First down.
Now it's half the distance inside the 5.
There was thinking Adrian Peterson standing back there putting his shoe back on. He didn't have a shoe on yet.
45th consecutive sellout. Over 84,000 are here. And Adrian Peterson's going to be setting up in his own end zone on this play. First down and 23. And there you see AD right on the O in Oklahoma. From behind, Peterson, toss sweep, caught it in the end zone, and got out to about the 4. Let's go back down to Sherry and Bonnie.
Courtney Paris, National Freshman of the Year. How much talent does this young lady have?
Well, she's unbelievable. She really is an anomaly. There's not anybody else like her. And really what she just did in her freshman year, 700 points, 500 rebounds, 100 block shots. Nobody's ever done that in the history of women's basketball. So I'm the lucky person that gets to coach her.
Okay, great, Sherry. Thanks for the time.
Sherry, not only a good basketball team, she's got a great basketball team, and now there'll be a switch with Calvin Sampson going to Indiana with Jeff Capel coming in, and all of that's Joe Castiglione, the athletic director here at Oklahoma, who's got one very fine program in about every sport. Not much of a play fake. Thompson hit from behind. The ball is loose, and they're going to say it's a fumble.
That's just what Oklahoma does not want. This gets Washington right back in the ball game.
I thought maybe his arm was going forward. Apparently not. No, and Washington's got it inside the 5. Chris Stevens made the hit. We'll get another look from the end zone.
Chris Stevens only comes in at 3rd and long. He is a young guy, number 29. Definitely a fumble.
The ball hits Chris Stevens in the head. Watch this. It hits him in the head, and that knocks the ball out.
And it's covered by Scott White with a fumble recovery at the 4. What a gift for Washington. They can get right back in the football game, trailing by 10. Bob Stoops might challenge this.
He's on the field.
He's got to call a timeout in order to challenge.
The last play is being challenged by Oklahoma.
That is exactly what's going on. This is a new rule now in college football, remember. You get one challenge per ball game. If you lose the challenge, you lose the timeout. You've got to have a timeout, obviously, to call for a challenge. There is no red flag like the NFL. And we'll get another look now from a different angle.
Let's take a look over here. This is Stevens, 29. He's going up against number 79. Stevens is 215 pounds. He just runs around the tackle. I think that's a fumble. I don't think the ball is coming up at all.
It isn't coming out. You're absolutely right, Bob, and it hits Stevens in the helmet. As the ball is back in Thompson's hands, this ball is hit by Stevens in the head that knocks the ball forward, and then White recovers the fumble.
Thompson's arm motion followed through. The question being, was it already out of there as a fumble before? And I think we've got a quick reaction.
After review, the play is confirmed, is called on the field. First down, Washington.
So Bob Stoops loses his challenge and his timeout. He felt at that point that he had to do that. So there goes a timeout for Oklahoma. There goes a possession for Oklahoma. And here's a golden opportunity now in front of 84,000 plus for Washington to take advantage. They led number 15 Oklahoma in the first half. They trail by 10 now, but courtesy of the fumble recovery at the 4-yard line, they've got a 1st and goal.
This is their best field position by far all day. They've had 3 possessions, 3 punts to start the second half.
The officials making sure now the number of timeouts as they have a conference over there.
And I'll bet you they don't throw the ball once in this situation.
And now the referee's going to come all the way over to talk to Bob Stoops one more time. There would have to be indisputable video evidence to overturn what the officials called on the field, and they confirmed that it was a fumble after review.
And you have no more challenges.
And
Oklahoma is charged a timeout.
Okay, we knew that.
So I think Bob Stoops says, hey, if you charge it, I'm going to take it.
So he's going to take his time.
I want to talk to my defensive guys about stopping these guys.
So they will come over as a team and talk to Bob Stoops and the rest of the Oklahoma coaching staff. Tonight on ESPN and ESPN2, a couple of great college football matchups for you. Mike Stoops takes Arizona into Tiger Stadium against Jamarcus Russell and LSU on ESPN2 at 6:30 Eastern. At 7:45 Eastern, Steve Spurrier, who's 11-2 against Georgia, hopes to help South Carolina snap a 4-game losing streak against Mark Richt's Dogs. All of those games available in high definition on ESPN HD or ESPN2 HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today. A couple of good games involving SEC teams.
Yes, this is an area inside the 10, inside the 5, where you'd like to have the 2 tight end offense. Well, both of their tight ends, their starting tight ends, Gottlieb and Lewis, are out. So number 92 was a defensive end until Tuesday.
Walt Winter.
His name is Winter, and he is one of the 2 tight ends that will be in there on this series of downs.
So Winter in the fall, and he didn't change his number either. We thought maybe he changed numbers for this week for us.
I guess 92 you could catch a pass.
Get away with it.
Eligible. But I'll say this. If I were Oklahoma, I mean, if we know this, Oklahoma defensively knows it a lot better than we do.
Watch out.
So I would say that if you're over there with 92, I wouldn't worry about him catching the pass.
I wouldn't either. I would worry about number 4, the quarterback. There's Brent Venables, who had his whole team around him.
Well, but I would do, though, is I'd run at him where he's at, because he's pretty good-sized lineman.
He'll line up on the left side. We're talking about Winter. And Curtin, the other young tight end, is on the right side. Kenny James back in at tailback. First and goal, Huskies trying to take advantage of the fumble recovery. And an option. Standback's in trouble. Cuts back inside. Got some tough yardage, and he lost the ball. And Oklahoma's got it back. DeMario Pleasant with a fumble recovery.
You know what, at the beginning of this game, and we watched it, and it hadn't changed too much. When your offensive line, I'm talking about Washington, you're blowing these guys off the line of scrimmage. Why do you run an option play on the goal line? If you're going to go after someone, go directly after him. That was C.J. Ayu that makes the play in the backfield. But, man, go at him.
And Zach Latimer, the middle linebacker, is the guy that forced the fumble.
But I like the call. I really do. And, you know, Ty's telling him, you've got to put the ball away. I know you were trying to make a play. But I like the call. Option on inside the 10 is tough for a defense to stop.
Peterson, first down. Run out to the 13-yard line. 5 more for Adrian.
Let's give the defense a little credit, though. I mean, Stoops had the timeout. He talked to his guys on the sideline, and he said, let's you know, they took it away from us. Let's take it away from them. And it's a quick turnaround, and they got the ball back.
Adrian Peterson approaching the century mark. He has 17 100-yard games in his career. He's got 90 yards right now. And he'll become the workhorse, especially right here, maybe deep in their own territory. 2.5 to go, third quarter. There's the numbers for AD. Toss. Looking for a block. Nice job defensively by Matt Fontaine. He'll run him out of bounds short of the first down. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Brad, you know, when you talked about Standback possibly trying to force that play, it reminded me of something Warren Moon talked to me about this morning as far as Isaiah's tendencies. When he was in high school and early in his career in Washington, Moon said he always felt like he had to do everything because there weren't playmakers. He had to be the man in every occasion, and that's something that Warren has talked to Isaiah about in the past. It's just a tendency that's been hard to break at times, especially when his team's trailing.
Yeah, sometimes you're too good an athlete. You don't know when to give it up or get down. Third down and 4. Oklahoma has passed on every third down. Here comes a blitz. He'll pass again, and a strike to Freddie Strong. And Strong rumbles out to the 39-yard line.
That's how good Thompson can be. I mean, he threw that ball quickly, right on target, and he led him perfectly. Down at the bottom, little slant to the inside.
Looked like Strong caught the back end of that ball. That was perfect. Well, that gets them out of the danger zone and out to their own 39-yard line. Beautiful pass and catch.
And I'll tell you what, this is what Adrian Peterson brings to this football team. You have to respect him. And if you take a look at what Washington does defensively, it's geared around him. Look at how many people are around him, Adrian Peterson, when he runs the ball. On that particular play there, Gunheim, who is a defensive end, was on the play. They always have 2 or 3 guys on him, which means that outside, we talked about this earlier, you're going to get one-on-one coverage on your receivers. They should be throwing the ball twice as many times as they're running the ball.
Gunheim, the defensive end for Washington, Grayson Gunheim, a junior, down on the play. He and Tion Eschheim, 2 good defensive ends for Ty Willingham, and still not on his feet. And he's up. He's a tough cookie, and he's all right. So Washington led throughout a good portion of the game until Oklahoma took over this third quarter. And now, despite the fact that they fumbled down inside their own 5-yard line, Demario Pleasant got it right back on a fumble by Isaiah Stanback on the next play. And now the Sooners, with Paul Thompson with 2 touchdowns and 182 in the air, have moved it out to their own 41-yard line. 2nd down and 8. Peterson, the tailback in the eye, with Finley, the tight end, in motion. Play action to Peterson. Thompson's going to go long for Kelly, and he's got it! Kelly all the way down to the 17-yard line, and he took it away from 3 Huskies.
Here's Kelly. This is the big target. He's 6'4". I'd be throwing to this guy a lot too. He needs to get the ball out. He had to slow up, wait for the ball. The ball's a little bit underthrown. Get the ball out, throw it across the field a little bit. Guy's got all kinds of speed.
He had Fontaine on him and C.J. Wallace, number 6 and number 1, and still got the ball in there, and Kelly went after it.
42 yards to the 17. First down, Sooners. Peterson outside. Peterson, touchdown, Oklahoma.
How easy was that?
He got to the corner and he had to slow down so he didn't hurt himself.
Woo.
Has he got some jets or what, guys?
Well, once he cleared the outside, it's over. I mean, it's just over.
His 18th 100-yard game. Steve Owens holds the school record with 23, and he won a Heisman Trophy. Garrett Hartley, point after is good. All Oklahoma for the last 14 minutes. They get a fumble recovery. They move it basically the entire length of the football field and then give it to 28 and watch them dance.
Both tight ends are good blocks on that. Eldridge, number 83, is looking for another guy to block, and Finley, both of them had good blocks. But that play was designed primarily inside, and then he just bounced it around the end.
This is only the second meeting between these two teams. I don't know if any of you remember the first go-around, but we'll take you back and give you a little look. Let's go back to the 1985 Orange Bowl. Here's the field goal by Oklahoma. Appears to be good, but wait a minute, illegal procedure penalty. Here comes the Boomer Schooner, the Sooner Schooner, and Rex Harris is driving that buggy. Barry Switzer looks on and says, what the heck's going on? They call a penalty of 5 yards for the penalty, then 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct for the Sooner Schooner coming on the field. Right. The ensuing field goal is now from 42 yards. It gets blocked, and Washington goes on to win 28-17. Rex Harris was a guy driving the buggy. He said, you know, there's 5 or 6 of us. It was just my turn, and they let the horses loose. We couldn't see the flag because of the crowd on the field. The problem is, he's been living in Pascagoula, Mississippi for the last 20 years. They haven't let him back in Oklahoma. Here's a kick. Marlon Wood will take a knee about 4 yards deep again. And again,
they don't let him back in the state,
They won't let him back in the state. I don't think it was Rex's fault, though. Those are some spunky ponies.
Shoot the horses.
You won't be let back into Oklahoma.
Hey.
We almost had you dragged out of here yesterday. 30-13 now, Oklahoma in front. 50 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
How quickly things changed. Just a couple of minutes ago, Washington had it on a fumble inside the Oklahoma 5-yard line and fumbled it back to them. And then Oklahoma goes the distance and scores. Now we got a 17-point game.
Stand back to throw. Isaiah in trouble, and now will try to scramble out of there. And he's hit, and the ball came loose again. They're going to say he was down. And watch out. Some of those Sooner defenders are awfully close to the official. They're going to mark him down, and there can be no challenge from Bob Stoops on this play because it's already been used up.
You know what I'm seeing with the Washington receivers? Now, Anthony Russo is number 5. He's on the left-hand side, and he's man-to-man coverage on the outside on Lindy Holmes. And what happens is he goes out, Bob. He sets down, and they're supposed to throw it to him. They don't throw it to him. He doesn't move. He stays in the same position, and it's easy to cover him. Now the quarterback has to run with the football. The ball hits the ground.
So Washington will keep the ball, but the lead is all Oklahoma. They dominate in the third quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
30-13 to start the fourth quarter. A third quarter dominated by the Oklahoma Sooners. Isaiah Stanback now with a second down and 5. And the give. Nope, he's going to keep it. Faked it to Kenny James, and Isaiah got the corner, and he's run out of bounds, but he got a first down out at about the 31-yard line. Well, what a difference 15 minutes makes. At halftime, it was all even, and then the third quarter came out, and Oklahoma got a couple breaks, but they just took over the ball.
Fumble right there that for Washington, 14-point swing. They didn't get in for get 7, and Oklahoma took it down and got 7.
Adrian Peterson, you thought he'd be better in the second half? I think he has been.
Well, you just keep giving it to him. And when you saw that last run for the touchdown, Brad, I mean, he just, once he got to the outside, it's over. Everything's over.
First down now for Washington, trying to hang in and answer. And James, who scored on the first play of the ball game, battles his way for 3 or 4 yards. And now a little shoving coming out of the pile. Calvin Thibodeau is the first guy. And now the flag flies in late. Now, who are they going to get? Who's got his hand in the cookie jar?
The last guy that swings.
The last guy, usually, yeah. The umpire and Greg Burks have some words to straighten it out. Still trying to figure out the guilty party or parties.
After the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike, number 58 from Washington. 15-yard penalty, third down.
Juan Garcia, the center, is the guy that gets the call. And as Paul said, it's usually the second guy that's going to get caught. There were a lot of arms flying around and pushing going on after the play. We'll see a little bit of it right here.
Yeah, see, he's the last guy in.
Yeah.
He went helmet to helmet.
With Corey Bennett. And he loses that battle.
Well, you know, that's when you know the guy's a little, let me put it this way, isn't too smart. Because the official's standing right there.
Well, they've had a frustrating day, the offense for Washington. They've been, 2 times they've been inside the 5-yard line. One time they came away with only a field goal, and the other time they fumbled it away.
They look confused offensively right now, as a matter of fact. Who's going to line up where? Isaiah Stanback says, get over there, get him over here. Sonny Shackelford finally trots out to the left side. They've got trips out to the right on a second down at 23. Here comes the blitz. Stanback got rid of it. And almost intercepted by Jason Carter, who's made a couple big plays today.
Well, Stanback understands he doesn't have time. And what I like about what Oklahoma's doing on this particular play, they ran a corner and a safety blitz. I mean, they're not even hesitating. They're sending people from the outside. That was Holmes, number 11, who was a corner that came on the blitz. This ball had to be thrown away.
It was Rufus Alexander who put his helmet right in Isaiah Stanback's sternum when he let go of the ball.
And Carter should have had an interception. That would have been an interception and a blocked punt on the day for the young man.
And he almost blocked another one. 3rd and 23. Here they come again. Stanback whirls away from it and throws in and out of the hands. Should have been caught by Johnny Curtin. It was thrown a little bit behind him, but it went right between his paws. No pun intended for the Huskies, and it's 4th down.
It was just a great athletic move by Stanback to reverse and get away, but the problem was there were 2 free blitzers. Who should have been picking them up? He got away from him, and then he threw the ball a little bit behind him. He could have made a good throw, and it could have been a big play for Washington.
Douglas hit an 82-yarder on his first punts, but Reggie Smith took it 62 yards the other way,
yeah,
number 3.
They've come right up the middle when they blocked it. Look at them all in the middle there now.
Carter blocked one and almost blocked a second. High snap again. This time they got the return on, though. And he hit this one a mile again. Reggie Smith's going to let it go. It's going to go in the end zone. Well, he just upped his average again. You know, we were kidding around with Paul McGuire. There was a problem about 20 years ago when he did a football game in this state. Now this was at practice yesterday.
Here just seconds, sir. Due to your efforts in the Ice Bowl age we had about 20 years ago here in the state of Oklahoma, we've had a proclamation that you are banned from the state of Oklahoma. I've been charged with the duty of arresting you and taking you out of the state of Oklahoma, sir.
You now? You talking
yes,
about
sir.
now?
If you would just turn around for me, please. Yes, sir. I'll be escorting you to the state line, asking you to never come back to the state of Oklahoma for us, sir.
Oh.
Hey, Brad.
What?
Brad.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Officer, is there any...
We're going to have to take him out.
Is there anything we can do about this?
No, sir.
There's nothing we can do about it.
No, sir.
See you, Paulie. Brad, call my mom.
Adrian Peterson looking for the corner, gets tattooed out of bounds at about the 29-yard line. 20 years ago, our old buddy Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire doing the Ice Bowl, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. Terrible game. It was about 12-0. It was very cold. It was very icy. And Paul didn't have a lot of nice things to say about the game. And a Democratic representative named Howard Cotner.
Is there anything we can do about this? No, sir.
There's nothing we can do about it.
No, sir.
See you, Paulie.
Brad, call my mom.
So a Democratic representative wanted to ban him from the state of Oklahoma. We were only kidding. Officer Thompson was beautiful yesterday. We thank the Oklahoma State Patrol and all that for helping us with that. But boy, that opened some eyebrows at the walkthrough yesterday. I'll tell you that much. Here's Peterson on the left side. And no gain there.
Some of the Washington Huskies were looked over and saw that. Whoa, what's going on here?
Bonnie spent about 45 minutes explaining to the contingent from Seattle that Paul was not really being arrested. We were just goofing around a little bit. Well, we're glad you're back in Oklahoma and with us, partner.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Greasy wasn't there to help. At least you put some money on.
I tried.
Nothing from him.
Wait a minute. I want to go back to the root of this. What did you say to get you banned from the state?
You know, I was putting up bail money. Part of me thought it was real for a second because they didn't get you the first time. I was looking for my singles, and then I realized that probably wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
Hundreds, maybe.
I tried with the C note. It didn't work. Officer Thompson would not budge. And right now, Washington's not budging much on Adrian Peterson. 30-13 here, 13-15 left. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Well, Brad, as you know, #1 versus #2 tonight in Saturday Night Football. This, of course, Jim Tressel. He has a national championship. So do these fans. They'll go head-to-head tonight. Brad, back to you.
All right, John, thanks. #1 and #2 in Austin. As if every Saturday in Austin isn't big enough. The top 2 teams in the country get together on ABC tonight. Brent and Bob and Kirk will have it for you. Adrian Peterson closing in on Billy Sims' all-time rushing record here at OU. And here he is, and his last 3 carries have really netted about nothing. Bonnie, go ahead.
I was going to talk about Malcolm Kelly, but since you brought Billy Sims' name up, quite a relationship he's developed with Adrian Peterson. Now, when he got here, he grew up in Texas. He kind of knew who Billy Sims was, but he's somebody who still lives in the area, comes and stays in touch with the program. And he said one of the areas where he's really helped Adrian is just talking about the importance of nutrition, keeping your body in shape in the offseason. Adrian put on about 15 pounds, and he did it the right way. He says, you know, I'll have junk food snacks every once in a while, but a lot of chicken and a lot of fish and a lot of protein, and that was really a positive influence from Billy.
You want to put on some weight, go to Billy's Rib Joint, that new place he just opened. Now, that'll pack the pounds on you. Here he is, left side, kept his balance, almost got to the first down marker. He's going to be short by about 1.5 yards. Tio Nassheim tripped him up, shoestring tackle on Adrian Peterson. Again, I mentioned his 1,800-yard game of his career here today. And the folks in Memorial Stadium want Bob Stoops to go for it.
No. You don't go for it. I've done, you could tell I've done that fish and chicken. And
yeah, you have. You look very slim.
Yeah. I'm standing also holding my stomach in every time I do this.
You're meeting your beautiful wife, Beverly. I can see where all of she's so small. You eat everything. That's the problem.
She's got to be
she looks great, and you're you.
Well, she's a saint.
She is, definitely.
She says she looks great. She's never worked.
Neither have you. Michael Cohen to punt. Snap, a little bit wide, and the kick end over end, fielded on the run by Marlon Wood, and Wood tracked down at about the 33-yard line by Lewis Baker. So Washington still has some hope. They've got the football, but they've got to get something in gear with the next 10:47 here. They trail by 17.
ESPN College Football on ABC.
And you're watching the Washington Huskies on the road from the Pac-10 playing the 15th ranked team in the land, the Oklahoma Sooners, who didn't look the part at the beginning of the ball game. They trailed throughout the first half, tied at halftime, and then Oklahoma took over the third quarter and put 17 on the board. We got 10:47 remaining in the ball game, and they lead 30-13. Bob Stoops trying to go 43-2 at home in this his 8th season in Norman. How about that home record, huh? 42-2?
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Bonnie asked him yesterday, do you realize you're 42-2 at home? He goes, nope. That's about the end of it right there.
Well, he's one of only a few people that have won a national championship in only their second season at that school.
The birthday boy.
Bob is 46 today. Isaiah Stanback is running for his life and then throws it out. Incomplete. He ran out of the pocket, back into the pocket. That's not grounding anymore if you get it across the line of scrimmage on a new rule, and he got it across the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at Rufus today.
But Rufus Alexander, this guy is just tough. He's a guy that really, I mean, when you talk about somebody that hunkers down in the middle of the field, you see him on run plays, you see him in a pass when he's blitzing, and he's also an outstanding cover guy. Remember, he knocked a pass down of Stanback's earlier in the ball game.
Stanback's only hit one of his last 9 throws. 2nd and 10. And a quarterback draw. Isaiah goes up the middle and right into the thick of the defense to about the 36-yard line, where it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Near the conclusion of our game today, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. To honor their determination, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. 10 minutes remaining in Norman, Oklahoma. 2nd week of the season. Oklahoma trying to go to 2-0. They dropped from number 10 to number 15 in the national rankings this week, despite their win last week. It was by only 7 over Alabama Birmingham, who gave them fits. They were hoping Washington wouldn't do the same, and for a half, the Huskies did. Here comes a blitz. Stanback in trouble again. Again, he rolls away from it, throws, and completes it down to the 45-yard line. What a throw to Shackelford, running the wrong way.
Super move. He did that move a little bit earlier because the same 2 blitzers were right in his face. He reverse pivoted, got around, and this time he hits the man. Watch the blitzers come from this side over here. He sees it. Look at this athletic move. Now he's looking downfield, right here.
And he throws a strike.
On the run, running away from his right hand, running to his left.
A 20-yard gain inside the Oklahoma 45. Washington showing life. Handoff. Gain of about 4 for Kenny James. Corey Bennett made the tackle.
The difference in these 2 teams and these 2 quarterbacks, both 5th-year seniors, both with strong arms and can move around, is that Washington could not win without Isaiah Stanback having a great game.
Good point.
He has got to carry them on his shoulders.
Thompson has enough talent around him.
Exactly. He does not have to carry this team. He's got that strong defense. He's got the good running back.
There's a good throw again inside the 30 to Johnny Curtin. Curtin being forced to be the starting tight end because of the injury to the 2 starters, Michael Gottlieb and Robert Lewis. One broke a bone in his hand, one broke a bone in his foot in the opening week against San Jose State. So Curtin's had a pretty good game, though. The young fella, a big guy, 270-pound sophomore. 3 catches today already. And this bat looked like Corey Williams was out of bounds.
No, they ruled him inbounds. He didn't get out of bounds.
No!
He was kept inbounds by Holmes.
I thought he was out of bounds before the catch. That's what I was talking about.
I was impressed with you could hear the catch and you could hear the hit. We had one of those little bubbles down there right on the sideline. Watch this.
Oh, perfect. Great shot, guys.
Yeah.
That's called a parabolic microphone.
Thank you.
Getting out of the hands of the intended receiver, Williams again. Rufus Alexander broke it up. Don't forget the launch of Monday Night Football on ESPN, a special doubleheader. First at 7 o'clock Eastern, it's the Vikings with a new head coach in Brad Childress taking on the Redskins in D.C. Then we'll switch to the left coast, and it'll be the Chargers taking on the Raiders in Oakland. Monday Night Football on ESPN starts in 2 days, so get ready. Both games will be available in high definition on ESPN HD.
Hey, we're still here, you know.
You're still doing a great job, too.
I mean, Bob's a little hurt that he wasn't invited.
I couldn't get you guys tickets. 3rd down and short. Stand back, dragged down by Nick Harris, the nickelback / linebacker.
Yeah, he won't want to hear you say linebacker.
No, he doesn't like that.
No, he doesn't. He's 6'3" and 225 pounds, and he plays a nickelback. Here he is up here, going to be coming in right on this side, unblocked. That's good tackling right there. We talked about Oklahoma at the beginning. Need to improve their tackling. He tackled a pretty escapable guy at that point.
Ty Willingham has said we're on the road against the 15th ranked team in the country. We were 2-9 last year. We're 1-0. Let's go, guys. 4th down and 12. They may not get the ball back if they don't try it here. Stand back. Going to scramble. Isaiah with crimson and cream around him, and he's close, but I don't think he got it. He had to get inside the 20. It looks like they put him down right at the 20, and that would mean a change of possession, and Oklahoma would take over. So let's watch the spot of the football. It is right on the 20.
Yeah, they put the nose of it towards the 19-yard line, but it's still not enough. They're going to miss this by at least half of or maybe a whole ball.
Yeah.
It was a heads-up run. At least he went north and south straight ahead and didn't try to dodge too many people. They were all there waiting on him anyway.
I'm with Paul. I would say half the length of the football shy if the field's not crooked, and I don't think it is in Norman. This would give the Sooners the ball back at their own 20 with 7.5 minutes to play. Whoa. It's only about 4 chain lengths, but it's enough. It doesn't matter. Just barely. So Oklahoma with the ball back in the lead with 7:35 to play on their home field.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC. ESPN's College Football on ABC. Brought to you by General Motors. A new level of quality. A new level of confidence. Dr. Pepper, with 23 flavors in every Dr. Pepper. There's more to it. And the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Back in Norman, Oklahoma with 7:35 to go. That big offensive line, young and learning every week. Brandon Braxton, big fella, 6'6", 312.
Youngstown, Ohio, my high school. Ursuline High School in Youngstown, Ohio. Brandon Braxton. We're going to show your next 26 plays in a row, Brandon.
And, of course, the head coach, Bob Stoops, and all his brothers from the same city. And you know his dad well. You guys used to hang together.
I grew up with his father and his 3 uncles in Youngstown, Ohio.
The word was if you were going to fight one of them, you had to go through everyone, and McGuire was the last guy in line. First down. Here's a toss sweep to Adrian Peterson. Peterson, he's got 10. Collard broke a tackle. He's got 25 and more. That'll increase your average a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what it does. You want to talk about strength in a running back? Now, Adrian Peterson gets caught by the collar and the shoulder pads. But watch the strength of this young man. He's back out to the outside. Now he's going to shoot straight up the field. Watch this. He is just grabbed, and that is a lineman, Gunheim, that grabbed him, and he ran through the tackle. Look at this. I mean, you talk about agility.
That would have been the old Roy Williams rule in the NFL, the collar tackle. 157 now for Adrian Peterson on the day. At the 49. He gets it again. This time just a couple. Matt Wider's got a Sports Center update from New York. Matt, what do you got?
In Boston College, who went to overtime last year and back and forth today. A 10-play, 81-yard drive culminates in a James Davis touchdown to put the Tigers back on top by 7. Meanwhile, Penn State is about to lose its 8th straight road game to a ranked team. Brady Quinn, 3 touchdown passes, 287 yards through the air, and the lead is now 38 in South Bend.
Wow. So Brady Quinn, who had kind of a tough start against Georgia Tech and then warmed up last week but didn't throw a touchdown pass in his Heisman candidacy, if you want to start talking about that stuff early, and everybody seems to want to. 3 touchdowns, and they're still playing. Adrian Peterson, 159 yards, still playing. Ohio State and Troy Smith tonight against Texas. Open is Finley, and he's got it inside the 15-yard line. Finally, they go to the big tight end, and he picks up the long gainer, a career long.
That's the type of pass I've been wanting to see from him, the long pass. Here he is. He's just going to go down and run to the outside. Just throw it to the outside. Just lob it. Nice, soft. Didn't have to break stride. Right in stride. That was a hell of a throw.
And it's to the big tight end, Finley, 6'6", 260, who had a good game last week, a good year last season, and he's got a career high. 7 different receivers Thompson's hit now, and that one good for 36 yards down to Joe John to the 14-yard line.
And that'll make them all forget what's his name that was here.
Which guy?
The guy that was here before him, the other guy.
There was a bunch of guys that have been good tight ends here.
No, I'm talking about quarterback.
Oh, Brett Bomar.
No.
He might be at Sam Houston State watching today. We talked about it a minute ago. Troy Smith, a Heisman candidate. He'll take his Buckeyes into Austin, Texas against the second-ranked Longhorns, number 1 and number 2. Last year it propelled the Longhorns to the national championship. We'll see how it does tonight, 8 Eastern right here on ABC. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein.
You got to commend those 2 schools for getting together, too. You know, where everybody's ducking, playing 1AAs, and the weaker schools from some of the smaller conferences. It's like Florida and Florida State getting together. They're going to play anyway. But these 2 teams didn't have to play each other. Well, out of conference.
Oklahoma, this is their second of 2 straight games against Pac-10. They'll go to Oregon next week in a game you'll see regionally on ABC.
Yeah.
Here's a call.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, last week we were in Tennessee, and Cal came cross-country to play Tennessee, and Tennessee put it on them. Right. So some of these schools, and Oklahoma in years to come has matchups against some powerful schools. They might even put something together with Miami and Florida, and so they're continuing to work on a schedule that's a little more appetizing to everybody.
And I don't necessarily feel like Miami is out of the national championship race. I don't feel like the loser of tonight's game between Ohio State and Texas is going to be out of the national championship race. You can play these teams early and still get back in it.
It's been proven.
Well, even Tyrone Willingham said on his interview that, you know, if you're going to be ranked and if you're going to be a good football program, you've got to play good football teams. And don't be afraid to play them. That tells you the mettle of your team when you play them. Now, you got Ohio State and Texas playing. That takes guts at this time of the year.
Timeout taken by the Huskies. They've got 2 remaining. We've got 4:25 left in Norman. Adrian Peterson in the middle of the pack. His quarterback, Paul Thompson, there with his helmet off during the timeout. And Thompson, really a couple throws that he'd like to have back and 1 interception he'd like to have back. But other than that, I think he's looked darn good. There's the numbers, first and second half. So he's up to 263, 20 completions, 2 touchdowns. A lot of guys would take that any old day. 3rd down, Washington showing blitz on a 3rd and 10. Thompson backs in to the shotgun, and here they come. Paul throws, completes it. What a catch. Oh, they're going to say at the 5-yard line, Fred Strong made a great acrobatic catch, but he's about a yard short of the first down.
Watch the block look at the left-hand side of your screen. Look at the block by Adrian Peterson. Bam! I mean, he comes in and puts the guy on the ground.
That's one of the things. That's one of the things he wanted to improve on was his blocking. Let's see the foot. The foot is clearly in. Now, where do you mark it?
Well, they've marked it, I think, a little bit in Washington's favor. However, Oklahoma is going to go for it. As a coach here, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Bob Stoops is saying, okay, do we want to kick a field goal here? We want to go, and he's not happy. It's 4th down and almost a yard. We'll take a break and see what the Sooners do and if the Huskies can stop them. 4 minutes and change remaining. Oklahoma in front, 30-13. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. It was tied at 13 at halftime, but Oklahoma quickly took over. Thompson to Malcolm Kelly, a 35-yard touchdown reception. Then Jason Carter blocked a punt. That led to a 30-yard field goal. Here's the touchdown toss to Kelly. That put him in front for the first time all day. Then Jason Carter comes in, blocks the punt. This led to a field goal to tack 3 more points on. And then it was Adrian Peterson, 17-yard touchdown romp with nobody near him, 30-13. That's where we are right now with 4 minutes remaining in the ballgame. The assumption by us is that maybe Bob Stoops called that timeout so the review officials upstairs would take a closer look at where the wide receiver went out of bounds, Fred Strong, and they have not moved anything down there. It's at about the 4.5-yard line. Remember, time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental Report featuring scores and highlights. John and Craig and Doug will be back in New York with those if we have time. Meanwhile, here comes Oklahoma. 4th down and about 2 feet to go inside the Washington 5-yard line. Adrian Peterson off the right side and almost got to the end zone. Still driving his legs down to the 1. It's 1st and goal here. Matt Weiner's got one more update for us. Matt.
America Player of the Week update. It's Michigan State's Matt Trannon who broke Plaxico Burress' school record with 14 catches today. Text vote to 87654 on your singular wireless phone. You can vote.
14 catches.
Wow.
That's something else.
That's a month's worth.
It's 1st and goal for Oklahoma at the Washington 1-yard line. Let's see if Peterson gets the call again. He does, puts his head down and not going to get there. Got just about to the goal line. Scott White's had a nice game at outside linebacker for Washington, the senior out of Lemon Grove, California. As he's got a sack today and an interception. He's been involved in 12 tackles, including that one right there.
You know, in the first half of this ball game, really and truly, I thought, you know, watching Washington play on both sides of the ball with their line, as well as they were playing, I thought, you know, Oklahoma could really be in trouble today.
Well, it sure looked like it till halftime.
And then Oklahoma, right after the half, just took over this football game, and they have not looked back since.
And you know why that is? I think it's just the talent. I think there was Bob Stoops did a good thing at halftime by getting his troops to play better and telling them what he wanted them to do. But I think at the end, the talent just because Oklahoma's got better players than Washington has at this point in time.
Donnie Matiaki, the defensive tackle, is the guy that was helped off the field. Now it's 2nd down and goal. Paul Thompson looking over to the sideline. This is close enough that it could be quarterback sneak time, but when you got number 28 in the backfield, you might want to get him one more touchdown just for postseason honors. Can I put it that way?
I think that's clear thinking.
That's what I would do if I was Bob Stoops. 2nd and goal. Touchdown, Oklahoma. So Adrian's got his 2nd of the day and 165 yards rushing. $107 in the 2nd half, and that's what Paul talked about. He gets better as he goes.
Boy, does he ever! I mean, it's just amazing.
So that'll be the capper for Oklahoma. Though the scare was put on, and more than a scare, really, for a quarter and a half. A 13-13 tie at the half. Garrett Hartley, their kicker, has been perfect today. Both extra points and field goals and deep kickoffs. Just about everything touchbacks on his kickoffs, and he's right through the middle with that one.
Washington 13.
An 80-play, an 80-yard, I should say, drive in 9 plays, and this is the capper.
C.J. Wallace.
Adrian Peterson, second touchdown.
It's good to see number 73 Walker back in the ball game. He was out a little earlier with probably with a cramp and not a knee sprain.
Let's check in with Bonnie Bernstein.
Ty Willingham will suffer his first loss of the season after his inaugural 2-9 campaign for Washington. And Brad, you wonder after what he went through at Notre Dame, being National Coach of the Year in 02, only to get his pink slip 2 years later because, quite frankly, 5-7 and 6-5 doesn't cut it in South Bend. You wonder if that would make him maybe look over his shoulder a bit when he's struggling with a program. And he said it's absolutely the opposite. My philosophy is I'm going to look in the mirror every day, and as long as I'm working as hard as I can for Ty Willingham and for the team and for the university, there's nothing more I can do.
Ty's a tough guy, and you don't get in this business without thinking that it might happen somewhere. Most coaches will say you get hired to get fired sometime. He, of course, was very successful at Stanford and successful especially in his first year at Notre Dame, and now in his second season as the head man at Washington. Penalty marker down, as Oklahoma may have been offside on the kickoff. That's the first time today they have hung a kick up in the air instead of kicking away. And I'm assuming that Washington is going to just take the football here and the 5-yard penalty, and they'll have it at about the 42-yard line with a first down. So all the options being talked about here. I'm not sure why the confusion on that particular kickoff. That should be an easy 5-yard walk-off. Give them the ball. Let's play 2:38. Let's go home. But that's just me.
I think what you're talking about, Ty Willingham, I think what he's doing is the right way. He needs to reach out to the tradition and the history of the university. He needs to go back to the Don James and to the national championship team of '91. And to build on those things and to talk about those things, just like Bob Stoops did
with Barry Switzer.
Barry Switzer, Bud Wilkinson, all the championships they won here.
Only 3 men on one side of the kicker. That penalty is declined. First down.
What was so difficult about that? I'm not sure sometimes. Isaiah, stand back. You'll have better days, Isaiah. They're going to put in Carl Bonnell, a backup quarterback here to play in the last 2:38 out of Kent, Washington. Hometown product, home state product. And the Huskies, who were over 500 if you wanted to look at it that way, coming in at 1-0 for the first time since 2003, will go home with a 1-1 record, and Oklahoma will go to 2-0. We're going to Matt right now for another update. Matt?
College played to overtime last year. They're on a course for OT again after Matt Ryan's 1-yard touchdown run. Ryan playing on a gimpy ankle, also has a TD pass, tied up at 24 there, and already started overtime at Syracuse, Iowa, and the Qs tied at 10.
Bonnell going deep, and it would have been intercepted by Jason Carter. He would love to have that one back. Oh, Jason, you've had a great game, but you missed a couple of picks you could have had.
Jason really understands after he looks at the film of this game why he is on defense and not a receiver. I mean, you couldn't have two easier interceptions, and he just dropped them both. Here you go, Jace. Jace, put your hands up. Look at the ball. Yeah, look at the ball, son.
He still had a heck of a game, though.
Yes, he did.
2nd and 10.
His block punt changed the game early. Up the middle, and here goes Lewis Rankin. And Rankin rips off a run all the way down to the 27-yard line. So 25 more yards. Isaiah Stanback will have better days than this, you can bet. Only 18 yards on 12 carries after a 100-yard rushing performance last week. Now Rankin's gone over 100 for the second straight week now with that last carry. And Washington hurrying up here. Bonnell in the shotgun. Fires down the middle. Boy, he threw a strike inside the 10, complete to Sonny Shackelford. Another 20-yard play.
Yeah, that was impressive, the way he slid around, found some space to throw, and then just delivered the ball right on target.
He had a preseason leg injury last year and didn't play all year, so this is the first time he's seen any action in a couple of seasons with real ammo. First and goal. Quick throw to the inside, battle for the football, and I don't know if it's, are they going to give him the catch? Anthony Russo? Apparently they are.
I think they are, yeah.
He fought with Lendy Holmes for possession of that ball and got it down at the 3, maybe the 2-yard line. So first and goal quickly for Washington. And to the end zone, touchdown. Sonny Shackelford. So how about Carl Bunnell? He just comes in and says, let's go. Gets a few smiles on the face of the Huskies, despite the fact that it's probably going to be way too little and way too late with 1:27 to go. That was a good-looking and very quick drive, most of it done by Rankin and Bunnell.
Brad, and some dummy somewhere saying in Washington, why wasn't he playing earlier?
Yeah, right. That's for sure.
And there is. You know what? Look how good he is.
Bronstein in for the point after.
They always hollering for the backup quarterback.
And the extra point up and good. So we got a minute and change remaining, and we'll probably see an onside kick upcoming. 63-yard drive in 1:11. Let's go back to what we talked about early in the ball game, the basics and the magic, and see how we did.
Well, I said that Thompson had to manage the offense, and I think he did. He threw for over 265, 70 yards. He's probably not going to have to do that every week, and the tackling was not good early on, but I think it got better as the game went on for Oklahoma.
And then I was just talking about the passing yardage had to be greater than the rushing yardage. They've had a couple of big runs in this game, but they did not throw the ball very well at all, and they didn't throw when they had single coverage on the outside. And they cannot let OU beat them deep, and they did.
They did.
And boy, they did.
Malcolm Kelly especially. Washington had a lot of struggles in the red zone, too. They had 3 possessions in there. Bob talked about this earlier. A couple of field goals and a turnover. Down inside the 5, got a field goal out of that, and then coughed it up right after they had recovered a fumble at the 4-yard line. Isaiah Standback in an option gave it right back to them. And that was a key turning point because, as Grease said, that was pretty much a 14-point swing if you think touchdown going in instead of going back the other way, 90-plus yards on a drive for Oklahoma.
Here comes my favorite play in all of football, the onside kick, the suicide play, the one where you can just maim anybody you want in a short area. You watch these guys, and what happens is the guys up in front on the line for the receiving team usually have to block or should block. Watch this.
And the jump ball, and the ball is loose, and did Washington come down with it?
I think they did.
They did. Marcel Reese, the big backup wide receiver, 6'3", 240, comes down with a football.
You know, the kickers have done such a great job now of kicking that ball into the ground, and then it takes a huge bounce, and it allows the kicking team to get there. Watch how high this ball bounces. Way up in the air.
Whoa.
It allows all of the kicking team to get there. Now they can grab it. They don't have to wait till the other team grabs it. It's a free ball.
Finley, the tight end at 6'6", had the best play on it for Oklahoma, but he didn't come forward far enough. Marcel Reese just flew in there and snatched it.
I think that's as good or as high as I've ever seen one of those kicked off.
Bunnell drills it to the 45-yard line to Corey Williams, and we'll bring up second down as we're down to a minute. Our Chevrolet players of the game today: Scott White, the outside linebacker for Washington. We mentioned he had an interception, 2 tackles for loss, and 12 tackles overall. And Malcolm Kelly, we just mentioned him. Big game for him, a career game for the sophomore wide receiver. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. First down throw, and Washington continues to just crank out basically meaningless yardage here, but this is going to look a lot better on the scoreboard when they go home. 47 seconds remaining in the ball game, and Bob Stoops, as a defensive-minded guy, doesn't like cheap yards or cheap scores.
No, he's not going to like this.
No, he's probably not going to like it much. But he is going to like the 37 that they put on the board, I think, today a little bit better. Bunnell going long. Got a man out there, and he overshot Quentin Daniels. Coverage by Reggie Smith, and a flag down in the Washington backfield.
One of the most impressive things, though, is when you take a look at it. We talked about it at halftime, 13-13 score. And to watch Oklahoma come back and just dominate the first half of the third period. I mean, they really went after this team, took control of the ball game, and never gave it up.
Holding, offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ben Osai with the holding call, left tackle. And we're down to the final 38 seconds. So Oklahoma will be going to 2-0. And their next ball game, as I mentioned on ABC, at Oregon. And Autzen Stadium is not an easy place.
That'll be a good test.
Yeah. Fauci got a home game up there. He doesn't have to go very far.
Yeah.
And Fauci, Tim Brand will bring you that game next week.
Fauci doing play-by-play now.
That's right. We're down to 30 seconds, and the crowd has thinned out here. And we're going to have a timeout taken by Washington. Boy, they're going to bleed this for all it's worth with 30 seconds remaining. It's 1 versus 2. It's the Buckeyes and the Longhorns. So much at stake, so early in the season. ESPN and ABC presents Ohio State and Texas in prime time tonight. Don't miss that one. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. What do you think, guys? Ohio State or Texas? Who you like?
Ohio State. Jim Tressel, my hometown also.
That's
Can
right.
I tell you, Youngstown State.
I like Texas. I think, you know, they've had a lot of starters back. The only guy that was not back was the quarterback, and I think they're going to take care of it.
The wild card maybe is Ted Ginn. But if Texas defense can play everybody else straight up, I'll take the Longhorns too. So a long day for Washington after a great first half, and it'll be a long trip home. Adrian Peterson certainly didn't hurt his chances for postseason honors today. 2 touchdowns and 165 yards on the ground on 32 carries.
Did you hear me say Ohio State? Did you miss something when I said that?
I just didn't agree with you, that's all.
2 votes to 1.
Well, Adrian Peterson admits that he would love to win the Heisman Trophy. He'd be the 5th Heisman Trophy winner in Oklahoma history if he did it. There's Steve Owens statue, and you go all the way over to the first Heisman Trophy winner, your old buddy, Bob.
Billy Vessels.
Billy Vessels.
He was the fastest guy on the field, and they say he was the toughest guy on the field.
Here's Bunnell going deep down the middle, incomplete. You know, they did a survey of a lot of guys that are Oklahoma historians around here, and Billy Vessels, who won it in 1952, I think it was 6 out of the 10 experts picked him as the best running back Oklahoma's ever had. Now you're thinking about Steve Owens.
Yeah.
You're thinking about Billy Sims. You're thinking about Marcus Dupree and Greg Pruitt and Joe Washington. So Billy must have been a hell of a player.
Yeah.
He was the meanest.
He was the meanest and the smallest of all those guys.
Smallest and fastest.
Of course, the other 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Jason White, former quarterback, and also Billy Sims. And those statues will be added to Heisman Park next year. It's part of a 2-year process for the centennial of Oklahoma. And then if Adrian Peterson were to add to that list, I said to Joe Castiglione the other day, Joe, what are you going to do? When are you going to put his up? We said, we got to make him wait a couple years. So that one could be down the line if he wins the Heisman
And
Trophy.
that park is right across the street.
It's beautiful over
from the stadium here.
You brought it up the other day. Who has a Heisman Park?
I think just Oklahoma.
Oklahoma has a Heisman Park.
Ohio State's got most of theirs in their trophy room.
USC has Heisman Hall.
Yes, they do. Adrian Peterson, will he be the next one? We've got a little bit of a pose there. You can see the speed on the corner, 20-yard gain on that one, and then the strength as he ripped it down the sideline, and look at the dance when he had the corner and knew nobody would touch him. And finally, the 1-yard run to cap off his 165-yard day and 2 touchdowns. Good outing for AD, and it's not AP if everybody thinks I'm crazy and don't know initials. It's for all day long. And as the day goes longer, he gets better.
You know what? And I think the only way, really, that he doesn't win it is if something happens to him and he gets hurt.
Well, Brady Quinn's putting up great numbers
I
today.
think
That'll
that's
help.
way too early to call.
No, it isn't.
Sure it is.
6 o'clock.
Depending on where you are.
Yeah, 7
o'clock in the east. Well, final 19 seconds now. As Washington has 1 or more plays left. They won't have more than about 3 no matter what happens. It's 4th down and 6. And it's an almost empty stadium now with the sun still shining. They had been talk of possible showers. Never happened. Bunnell in trouble. Look out, son. Backpedals, throws cross field and dropped. Rankin wants to double pass it, I think, or he's thinking about it. And he lofts it incomplete. Intended for Marcel Reese. Well, a little trickery on the second to last play of the ball game.
You want to know the great part about this whole play? There was no illegal man downfield. I mean, how could there not be a guy? There wasn't.
So Oklahoma takes over. They can take a knee, and everybody can head back to the tailgating. And Norman, I think the fans in Soonerland will be happier about this outcome today. They'll squabble about the first half, I'm sure, but as Paul said earlier, Bob Stoops, whatever he did in the locker room, he ought to bottle it, because they came out and just completely took over the football game in the third quarter. And though they gave up a late touchdown, it really doesn't matter. They're going to win it over a Pac-10 team. 37-20 is the final. So Ty Willingham goes to 1-1. Bob Stoops goes to 2-0. That's going to do it. Once again, final score. 15th ranked Oklahoma, 37-20 winners. For Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein, I'm Brad Nessler. To send it to New York, here's John, Craig, and Doug. Fellas.